You can jump in at any point.
I was getting down on it. Welcome to another meaningless and pointless episode of the show. We got music now. How great was that? We're no longer the low budget piece of shit shows that don't have music. So I'm your lovable host, Harry. Next to me is Tyson.
Let me talk to you and let us know if that was a W or an L there.
Oh, that was an L. We don't need anybody to let us know. We probably should have fleshed that out better. Well, I thought you were gonna play the whole song.
No, I was just gonna play
since we're doing this live.
No, just the beginning. You were supposed to. That was the lead in, and then.
Okay.
I don't know.
I know now.
Okay, what's the picture that you see when that happens?
Well, I thought the whole song was going to play, and then we would get into it.
So that song, by the way, is like 3 minutes.
I was thinking that. That thought did occur to me. So, yeah, okay.
So what you see is we got like the 3-minute song playing. We got the graphics going off, the light show.
Yes. Do you not watch streams? I don't think you've ever seen a live stream in your life.
I have seen a lot of them, many of them, so many.
So then you know that there's at least like a half hour. The good ones at least have a half hour of music because they actually have an audience that needs to pour in.
That's true. Okay, but in that scenario, yes, they're okay. So like, say they're starting at 11.
Mm-hmm.
And then they actually don't like go on camera until like 12, but they start at 11. So we should have started that at 11, and then we go on, or an hour before.
Yeah. Well, I think an hour is a bit excessive. Like 5 minutes for us, maybe a minute or so.
Okay. Well, now see, we got the clearer picture. So now we know.
Anyway, how was your week?
Pretty good. It's also daylight savings time.
Oh,
so we are losing an hour when that happens.
Great.
So just keep that in mind. But aside from that, pretty good.
Good. Did you happen to watch the AEW Revolution?
I did not. And it wasn't because of lack of trying. It was because my particular feed that I was trying to watch, because I paid for it, of course, it expired after after a certain amount of time, so I couldn't rewatch it.
I gave you the keys to the kingdom.
That whole my whole site got shut down because they tried to play with AEW. I'm not gonna like say the name, but it's like if you Google a certain thing and then it's like the first link, they got shut all the way down. You played and then you got.
Mine didn't.
Well,
in fact, mine has different versions. So, like I said,
I got my own feed.
No, you don't. Apparently.
Well, now I don't, but I did.
No, well, I got a reliable one.
You know what's a reliable one? Paying for it.
Why would I do that? Why would I pay for shit? If I don't pay for the good stuff, why would I pay for the bad stuff?
Well, see, here we go. That's a good thing. I didn't know you were going to be on that shit.
What shit?
This shit you're trying to start.
I'm not straight.
Here we are. We got Sting's last match, 40 years in the business. And here you go and trying to shit on it.
Did you watch it?
I seen
You
highlights.
didn't watch it. How the fuck do you? Did you see it?
Yes.
You watched Sting's last match.
I said highlights.
Oh, okay. It's terrible.
See, that's what I'm about. We got here's this Sting's last match.
Well, Sting's last
give
match
him
was
one
shit.
night.
I did give him a night. I gave him 30 minutes of my time watching AEW programming for Sting.
Well, Darby Allin almost killed himself.
He should have.
And
he's the dumbest motherfucker I've ever seen.
You had his sons out there with him, Sting's sons, that is, his real sons.
Yeah.
They were playing his versions of him
poorly.
Well, that's why they're not in the business. You know, one of them is a streamer.
Oh,
Streams Destiny.
Of course he does.
Like, you geek. Your dad. And then why don't you lead with that information? Like, your dad. Oh, yeah, my dad is like Sting, by the way. Like, why are you trying to not use that?
For his Destiny streaming?
Yeah. It'd be my, gamer tag. Sting is my real dad.
Because they might get him confused with the police Sting. This ain't the 90s anymore. Sting's name isn't what it used to be.
I mean, it is.
It is to the wrestling fans, but not to, like, a casual viewer.
I don't know. I think if you say Sting, they were like the wrestler. That would be first. Like, what's Sting? The other Sting. What's he done? The Police. Like, no, sing a little bit of what's one Sting song?
Roxanne. Okay. You don't have to go into.
See, that's an old song.
Roxanne. You don't have to sell your body to the night.
Yeah, that's pretty old.
So, Sting's peak was probably before our time, or just around there. Doesn't make him any less of a legend. Like Elton John. What's the last thing he's put out? Couldn't tell you. But that Candle in the Wind song.
Well, yeah, he kind of hurt his. I don't know if he even still makes music, Elton John.
I think he does.
Oh, good for him. Now put out some bangers. I don't care about anything else. Just put out some bangers. But what did you not like about Sting's retirement match?
Everything. I didn't like that it was a garbage match. I didn't like that he went out undefeated. I don't like that they didn't have a plan for what to do with the tag team titles after Sting went out undefeated. I didn't like the glass spot. I thought that was the dumbest shit I've ever seen. And I've seen some dumb shit. I saw Triple H pantomime having sex with a mannequin inside of a coffin that was supposed to be the dead body of his rival's girlfriend.
Oh, yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah. But just seeing Darby Allin jump off that ladder just onto a pane of glass, and you can see fans like brushing shit off of him. This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
And if you listen to the professionals in the business, they said that was real glass.
Yeah, it's stupid. For nothing, too, because Darby Allin's going to lose the tag team titles. He got stripped of the titles so they can have a stupid tournament again. And he cut up his back for nothing.
Because it was Sting's last match, that's why. It's like he was trying to fast track his own career to end the same night Sting did.
Well, I just know I have no interest in Darby Allin after that.
I don't know.
Not that I had a whole hell of a lot of interest beforehand, but yeah.
I just see him as a crash test dummy. Yeah. That's what he's good for, is being a crash test dummy.
And I didn't like Sting's kids being involved. I didn't like the Did you watch the entrance?
No.
So they did this thing where they played piano, and then it showed this clip of Sting just sitting alone in this theater, and it shows like stills and some video footages of his career. And he goes, "It's showtime for the last time." And then they play Seek and Destroy. Or no. They play Sting's music, and some guy dressed as Surfer Sting comes out, which it would have worked if they didn't do like a close up immediately showing that it obviously isn't Sting. And then some other guy dressed up as Wolfpack Sting comes out, and he's like 200 pounds lighter than the other Sting. This guy's anorexic.
Mm.
And then the real Sting hobbles out to Seek and Destroy. And it was just, I don't know, it was really awkward.
This sounds awesome. I'm not even joking you. Keep going.
You would like it. You would like dog shit.
You're describing a masterpiece right now. Keep going.
And then the match starts, and his kids immediately get involved. Like, Sting's beating up the Young Bucks while his kids are setting up tables. And then when they got why was there panes of glass underneath the ring? There was no reason for it. And then they were calmly setting them up in various positions.
His kids were?
Darby Allin, like all four of them, they just like stopped. The whole match stopped just so they can just calmly move these panes of glass.
Okay.
It was just dumb. And then Sting would no sell shit, and then he'd get his ass kicked.
Vintage Sting. Keep going.
Well, the no selling, yeah, but he would do it like he did it a couple times, at least 3 times. And it's like, okay, at some point, and he's like 70, and he gets power bombed off of the ladder into a table. That doesn't put him away. He like eats all of their moves. And yeah, Sting won. And I can't help but think like how different it would be if they used the opportunity to let like a younger guy or somebody they want to build up have their first victory over Sting versus like some garbage match with Darby Allin and the Young Bucks.
No, we got to leave him undefeated.
Why?
Well, it's going to be a 50-50 chance that he was not going to. I mean, so as the story goes, Sting actually did want to lose. I don't think the Young Bucks needed the rub.
No, they didn't. No, I'm not. No, God, no. They shouldn't have lost or he shouldn't have lost to the Young Bucks. I'm okay with that. What I'm saying though is, instead of this match, they should have had Sting put over somebody. I don't know who that would be, but they should have thought of that. Like, oh man, we're gonna build up this one guy. It's like they did the same thing with the Undertaker, or they did the opposite of the Undertaker streak, but for the wrong reasons.
Well, apparently that was his call too. That he didn't want to do a singles match ever in AEW.
Really?
Yeah. He
Well,
just
that's
didn't
dumb.
want to do one.
Well, then he could have put. I don't know. They could have done something. Maybe They could have wrestled FTR and Dak, or is it Dax? Dax could have
Yeah,
pinned
Dax.
Sting, and that could have launched his singles run because he's the guy that beat Sting.
Yeah, I could see that.
But no, he goes out undefeated. And people are saying, like, this was his best run ever. I don't know. He just kind of seemed like a
It could
mascot to
be.
me.
Well, you got to think about it. These people, too young to remember, um, you know, WCW.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are. Most of the people, yes. I have a news flash for you. We're old. People don't remember WCW. You know, there's even like content creators, if you hear them, they were born after WCW was already done.
First of all, we're not old.
Oh, we're old.
You're old.
You might as well. We're like, we're about to be in like nursing home
God damn it, I'm going to go to the mall tomorrow.
in your high school jacket. Hey,
Hey, kids.
is this where the cool kids are? No.
And if they were, you wouldn't be there. Or we call the cops.
Get roped in them buying kids alcohol because you're trying to fit it.
Oh man, I there's some guy that told me that this high school girl tried to get him to buy alcohol by flashing him her tits. And he's like, "Put those away. I'm not trying to go to jail."
Put those away. Oh, you must stop. You must stop.
But yeah, I'm sorry that Sting's last match had to be against the Young Bucks too. But at least Taz wasn't on commentary. I will say that.
Well, I didn't see it, but it did sound like it was a good thing. Now, I did watch Dynamite, and I'll say and I watched up until the main event because
Mhm.
again, so the pay per view was good. Um, Dynamite was good, so they're on a little bit of a hot streak. That being AEW, so that's good for them. Don't look at the ratings, but the show's on a hot streak.
How was the pay per view? Good.
Well, the one thing about AEW is they have the good matches. So you had Osprey versus Takeshita.
Mm-hmm.
That was a masterpiece.
According
Modern
to who,
banger.
Meltzer?
No, well, I'm sure he gave it some stars.
Why is
Sure,
it
he
a
gave it all the
masterpiece?
stars. A modern day masterpiece, I said.
Wasn't Takeshita and Osprey, aren't they in the same? Wasn't that the thing where Callis had all his stable fight each other to put on the best match ever?
Yeah, that
Okay,
was kind
yeah,
of the
just stop
story for it.
talking. No, that was stupid.
Oh, he's first of all, he's still going at that. That was the first of the test.
Yeah, that was stupid. I'm gonna have my own stable fight each other, heels, because we want to put
Well,
on the best match ever. Why the fuck would heels give a shit about putting on the best match ever?
well, that was him trying to save the nonsensical booking of it all. Like that was just damn well Tony Khan's just like, oh, we're just gonna make a banger dream match, and then Callis tried to save it by saying, oh well, we're putting the family against each other to prove because we're the best. We can only fight each other.
But you started off by saying it was a masterpiece. If it's a masterpiece that started off with a flaw, is it a masterpiece?
That was a lot. That was deep. That was a deep question there. I'm not gonna answer it. It sounds like a trap.
It's not a trap. It was a genuine question. All right, fine. Let's move on to the other guys then.
Yes, I just wanted to give a little shout out to AEW for that. Not that I'm trying to like kiss up to our haters that we have.
You give them a little shout out for what?
Having a good run. They've
Oh.
put on 2 good shows. They got stories for Okada. They got story for. It's not a good story, but it's a story for Osprey.
Jesus Christ.
Nope. Hold on. And then
They got something.
Mercedes
Good
is
job.
hold on. Mercedes is supposed to come back or come next week.
Okay.
Now, if they have a story for her, then I've already got. This is also why I'm so excited, because that comment we got a couple weeks ago that said this is pointless. As soon as Mercedes comes with a story, I'm going right back to that comment. It's like this is why we have the platform and you don't. I said we said they needed to bring story. They brought story. This is why we're where we're at. You're where you're at. And now
Wait.
you're banned. Get out.
Okay, so they brought Osprey. What's the story?
I just told you.
Tell it to me again. I missed it.
He's fighting his family to, I don't know. That's the story. Again,
fighting-
it's not a
God
good
damn
story,
it.
but it's a story nonetheless.
Okay, so what's Okada's story?
Okada joined the Young Bucks, so he turned heel.
And he did that piss poor Rainmaker clothesline to Eddie Kingston.
No. We're just talking about the story.
Okay.
So he joined the Young Bucks and they kicked out Kenny Omega.
The Osprey thing is not a story.
That's what they're trying to make it. Where it's going, I don't know. And is it a good story? No. But it's a story. What I'm saying is we're not seeing Will Ospreay versus Atlanta Jr. in a dream match. Like they're actually doing something with him story, like they're trying to build something. Again, is it good or bad? That's besides the point. It's just not random pick a card match. And
I think
you're just gonna love it because it's Ospreay.
They put Osprey and Takeshita together because that would be a good match.
Okay. What are you arguing for this guy? You're on his team now?
Osprey's?
No, that comment that said it
No,
was
of course
pointless.
not. I'm but I'm not going to sit here and lie.
If you're gonna give him material to come back with. I don't even know if he's gonna read it, but I know he's gonna get it.
Well, let's move on to Raw.
Okay.
It's enough AEW. Let's shit on some WWE. So we're in San Antonio. Jey Uso, Nia Jax, they're in the building. And Jay's facing Drew McIntyre again. And who cares who Nia Jax faces? I think she faced Becky.
She did.
And they recapped Rock's counter offer last week on SmackDown. So out comes Cody Rhodes. And Cody says he's facing the greatest champion in company history. Sorry, Bruno. Sorry, Hogan. Sorry, Austin. It's fucking Roman. But first he needs to take care of The Rock, who he calls a distraction. And Cody says The Rock pushed out of his challenge for a one-on-one match and asked for a tag team match instead. And he says The Rock is right. They had a conversation, and The Rock said the people wanted him versus Roman, not Cody versus Roman. So Cody just said, okay, and gave The Rock his WrestleMania spot. But then, after a couple people booed, he made a scene at the press conference. And later, he said it was The Rock's PowerPoint presentation that really made him change his mind. So, to reiterate, The Rock and Cody, they sat down. The Rock said, you know what? Cody and Roman's good, but the people really want to see The Rock and Roman. Cody, being a bitch, just said, okay, you can have my WrestleMania spot. Then Cody heard a couple people say, no, we don't want to see that. And then he saw The Rock's little pictures. And then he decided to just cause a scene. The scene in which caused him to get his face smacked. Is that not
Yep.
weak?
I mean, that's the story.
But isn't that a shitty story?
No. I mean, I'm still on the bandwagon of it should have been The Rock versus Roman, and you people complaining have ruined it for us. So there's that. But
I think The Rock has ruined this.
I was thinking about it. If The Rock didn't come back, there was no Rock. I'm going to lay out what was going to happen. I'm going to lay it all out for you. Cody Rhodes, he wins the Rumble. He picks Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns Roman Reigns is going to, try to fend off this Cody threat. So, building up to WrestleMania, we're going to get Cody Rhodes versus Solo Sikoa. Cody Rhodes versus Jimmy Uso. Maybe there's going to be a tag team match. And he's going to have to find a mystery opponent. A mystery partner. And him and Randy Orton have history. So either Randy Orton or Kevin Owens is going to be his mystery tag team partner. And then that was going to be your build up to WrestleMania. Seeing him bury the rest of the bloodline. But now we're in this story that no one knows where it's going. And it's a lot better than what we were going to get. Now, you tell me there was going to be something different than that.
It would have been Seth Rollins, not Randy Orton.
Seth Rollins would have been the mystery tag team partner.
Yeah. You might be
Yeah,
right.
true. Because CM Punk got hurt, so they would have gotten him in there somewhere.
But at least it would have been logical. I don't know. It seems like they wanted to go one way. The fans reacted. And then now they're scrambling to make it all make sense, and it doesn't. And now The Rock is just inserted when he was supposed to be his Roman's opponent.
Well, we've made sense of that.
How's that?
I don't know. I think it makes sense. I mean, you laid it all out.
I don't think it makes sense at all.
The Rock was saying, let's take this business to the next level. Let's take this business further than it could have ever gone. And let's put this match on me versus Roman.
Cody, I know you went.
Match that we can have.
I know you went through the Royal Rumble and you won it 2 years in a row. And I know you've been bitching about finishing your story and making your dad happy from the heavens. But the people really want to see me wrestle Roman instead of you.
Yes. I'm a much bigger star than you.
Bullshit.
And we can take this.
Cody's still a competitor. Cody wouldn't just hand his shit over like that.
Well,
I would have bought the Rock blackmailed Cody or threatened to fire him or something. He had something over his family or he bought the deed to his house. Anything than just Cody just bending over backwards and saying, you know what, Rock, just stick it wherever you want.
Well, Cody's a nice guy, so that's his own fault.
He's still a competitor.
No, no, he understood. He
He didn't
understood
understand shit. No,
until
no,
he
no.
until he wanted to be a turncoat. Until he wanted to change his mind.
He understood
Like
that he
all you had
needed
to do was shut up and sit down
he
and let
needed to
this
let a
biggest
senior
match,
citizen take
dream
his
match.
WrestleMania spot
You think
after he earned it.
yes. Let's get this big match, this mega match, this dream match, this draft
This
match.
ain't a dream
The Rock,
match. This is a dream match for you simpletons.
even The Rock said he said it 4 years
I
ago
think
when
you
Roman
people
Reigns.
you people think this is The Rock 20 years ago. This ain't.
Yeah, 24 years ago when Roman Reigns uttered the word, and this is what The Rock said. When and it's true, by the way. When Roman Reigns uttered the words "head of the table," when he said that, the only reason he said that was to set up a match with The Rock. The whole thing was created because this was leading to a match with The Rock, and then we were finally gonna get it. And Cody Rhodes had to go and well, not even Cody Rhodes. He would. This would have been no problem had the fans just shut their mouths like they should. And now these are the same fans. We're gonna get into it later. There's some things that came out about Bianca Belair, and these are the same fans that are doing that, and now they think they know what's best for the company.
Well, thank God for those fans because they saved WrestleMania from a one-off spectacle.
Yeah, you
Bam
can't
Bam
be having
LT2.
you can't be having Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant. That's not going to be good for the business. You can have Ultimate Warrior versus Hulk Hogan. No one wants to. That's going to set the business back 100 years.
I'm
We
sorry,
need to see Bob Backlund
I'm
versus
sorry, was there
Bruno
a 20-year
Sammartino.
difference between the Ultimate Warrior and Hulk Hogan when they wrestled at WrestleMania?
I
Was
don't
Hulk
know.
Hogan a big
Hulk
movie
Hogan always
star that
looked
was
old, so I
gone for
don't
10 years?
know. Maybe.
You know goddamn well he wasn't. Did they have something to do for both men after WrestleMania?
That I don't know for sure.
They did.
Did they?
Yes.
The Warrior wasn't even champion when we got to the next WrestleMania.
That's because
So what was the point of it?
he didn't last very long.
Yeah.
But he had his failed run. Hulk Hogan had a new mission. After WrestleMania, after The Rock and Roman, The Rock's going to go back to Hollywood and Roman would still be champion and we'll go to the snail pace of the bloodline story again.
Well, that is another key piece people are overlooking. You wanted Cody so bad. Now, what happens when he loses again? Like, if we would have got The Rock, now you got a new reason to be upset when Cody Rhodes loses. Although
Mostly.
now I'm kind of like on the fence about that. This
I
is a
think
good thing.
it all depends on. Well, still, I think even if he does lose, and it's, all the world against Cody Rhodes, I can still see him pulling out a win.
Yeah, there's so many different outcomes that can happen here.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, that the unpredictability is nice, because if it was Cody and Roman, it would be pretty cut and dry.
Yeah, and the buildup would have been that would have been the buildup.
Unless they debuted somebody new.
Yeah, that could have happened. Well, at WrestleMania.
But yeah. I don't know. I think Cody's explanation was. I think that's the worst explanation. I was hoping for
Well, I
some
think
deep. I was hoping that Rock had something on Cody. I was hoping that. I don't know. It just seemed like a gloss over, a cop out. But Cody says it's not about him anymore. It involves his friend now, Seth Rollins. And Rollins comes out dancing. And Cody says, "You told me that you'd have my back, but I understand if you want to focus on Drew McIntyre and skip this tag match." Seth says he has his story to finish now, too. And then he tries to banter back with The Rock's Instagram video. And he calls him Diarrhea Dwayne, which the dumb fuck fans made a chant out of. And I gotta say, it's a good thing Punk got hurt, because if this is the fire that Rollins can come up with, after 2 weeks of cross-dressing jokes from The Rock, I think we dodged a bullet.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that like. Yeah, you had weeks, and this is what you come up with. Oh, you think Netflix, when they sat down to sign the $5 billion contract, asked about Seth Rollins? Well, you got your diarrhea, Dwayne.
Right.
Like, oh, you got me.
Like, The Rock questioned his manhood. He said he's irrelevant. He says, the people that really count don't even know who he is. You're diarrhea. Okay. Well played, Seth. Checkmate, fucker.
Yeah. And then,
So,
he's probably sitting there smirking. I got him. No, you didn't. It's like someone, like, I don't know. Someone says all this stuff about you, and then all you say is, well, you're stupid.
I know
Or,
you
no.
are.
Yeah, I know you are, but what am I?
No, you're irrelevant. So Rollins says he's 100% now, and he'll be at SmackDown to face the Bloodline with Cody Rhodes. He says that he has Cody's back. Does Cody have his? And then Cody says he's going to SmackDown with Rollins to accept the tag match against Rock and Roman. Yay.
Thus setting up a must-see SmackDown if you're into it.
Yeah. So then we get Dominic Mysterio versus Gunther. Now, I gotta say, at first I was really pissed off at this. Because I'm like, why the fuck is Gunther even in the same building as Dominic? But it makes sense, because Dominic got in his face. Gunther's a bully. He'd want to make an example out of Dominic. So after thinking about it, I got into it a little bit.
And the match went about how it should have.
Yeah, it sure did. Although no robe for Gunther. It's kind of weird seeing him come out all naked.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that until you just pointed it out.
It's like, I don't know. Maybe I don't even need to put my robe on for this. This will be over quicker than I can take my robe off.
Yeah, I don't need it for him.
Cole briefly mentioned Sting's retirement. I thought it was kind of cold. He's like, thanks for the memories. And I think Dominic sells the chop the best.
The fact that they mentioned
Was monumental.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I was letting you finish.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Stings.
I was just saying, it was this big moment that they would actually mention Sting's name and that he retired. That obviously set the internet ablaze. Oh, they mentioned AEW Forbidden Door.
Actually, they tried to say that WWE didn't even acknowledge Sting's retirement.
They did. They just did.
I know.
Were you not paying attention? I mean, it's not too far off, but they did. Like, what were they
Yeah.
supposed to do? Play a video package for him? Stop
Well,
the whole show. Let's do this Sting thing.
the present or the way it was approached is the WWE didn't even say anything. It's like it never happened to them, which obviously they didn't acknowledge it. But no, they're not going to do a
Maybe that
video
person
package
was.
for the one match that Sting had with them.
Maybe that, yeah, that he lost too. But maybe that person was like looking for, I don't know, some kind of social media post about it or something.
Maybe.
I don't know what they were looking for. Or they just wanted to complain. There's that too.
There is that. But yeah, Dominic sells the chop the best. The way he would just fold over.
Yeah, he is good. Ricochet sells him pretty good too.
Yeah.
Is now turning to mutton.
I like how Dom's offense had very little offense or a little effect on Gunther. And the only thing I didn't like was how Gunther pulling up Dominic on that 3 count only gave the advantage to Dominic. So he pulled him up, and then Dominic started to fire back up.
Oh yeah, he reversed the power bomb.
Yeah. And I thought they were going to pull some bullshit, but Gunther won clean with a power bomb on a Boston Crab.
And I would say that was his, or at least for me, that was his best power bomb to date.
The long sticking power bomb.
Yeah, the one he does is like a flowy one motion type of power bomb, but this one he like held him up and then
He
power
stuck
bombed
him.
him. It's almost like a Sid power bomb, but he didn't throw him on his neck. Which is what Sid used to do, just throw him right on his neck from the power bomb position.
But yeah, it was a good match. I was expecting to walk away pissed, but I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, and like I said, it went as good as, or just how you thought it would go. So that was good.
So after that, we get Damage Control. They're walking backstage, and Pierce has a little interaction with them. And then Nakamura comes in, and he says he wants an IC title shot because he's lost a sufficient number of matches to qualify. And Pierce says that he has an announcement later and tells Nakamura to meet him in his office. And I would much rather see Nakamura take Damage Control to like a new direction than him getting involved in whatever he's going to get involved in. Also, Ricochet later gets mentioned in the IC title picture. So does McTurd.
All the losers are gathering around for.
Yes.
I mean, they're pretty much telling us Gunther's walking out of WrestleMania as champion still.
Well, there's a dark horse.
Well, I know the two. It's one or the other.
Oh, yeah. There's 2.
And potentially there's 3 because, I mean...
We'll get there.
Okay.
Ripley also punks Io later, showing just how poorly built the other women's title is. She walks up to Io, "Stay out of my territory." And then Io just goes, "Huh. Checkmate, Io. Good job."
That was a punking?
I thought so.
Okay.
Ripley tells her to stay the fuck away. And all Io does is make this little noise. And then she walks away.
Yeah, I didn't think there was too much to it.
There wasn't too much to it, but I mean,
I don't think she was like,
Ripley's Ripley standing next to Io.
mm-hmm.
Did they even look like they belonged together?
No.
Okay.
It felt like a Roman Reigns Seth Rollins situation, is what you're saying?
Shit. Yeah. Not even that. I don't even think Io's on Seth Rollins level right now. Unfortunately. I know she could be.
I mean, she hasn't been wrestling,
Exactly.
but she's still champion.
So,
I don't know. It's not like she's been. I've seen champions through the Vince McMahon era lose every week until the title match, and then they win the title match, and then repeat the cycle until they actually lose the title match.
I don't see
Theory.
too I don't see too many, or I can't think of too many examples where the belt has made somebody versus the other way around. So just having a title, I don't think means anything. I think you need to do something with it.
I don't know. I think in the Triple H era, because champions rarely lose in this era. It's a big deal having a title. Like I was thinking, you know, Roman Reigns been. I saw this weird stat, by the way. Roman Reigns has pretty much been champion like almost the whole time AEW has existed. Um, so Roman Reigns has been champion forever. Seth Rollins has been champion for a year. Rhea
Mm-hmm.
Ripley's been champion for a year. Io's like one of our newer champions, um, but she's been champion for several months. Logan Paul's been champion for a couple months. Gunther's been champion for 600 days. What I'm getting at is long reigns all around.
And I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. I want them to do something with the reign. I don't want them to just have the belt. Because that doesn't mean anything. Just having the belt is nothing. That just means you have the prop. Now, I'm not saying that Io needs to be like Gunther or Roman Reigns, but it'd just be nice to see her be something. I don't know. I skipped the women's tag match. And
Um,
Stark and Baszler are losing to the Kabuki Warriors next week. And I don't know why you wouldn't build an interesting WrestleMania program with that. But, tell us about the match.
oh, that's pretty much it.
Okay.
Um, Baszler and Stark won, and Damage Control was out there on commentary. They're now funny because Dakota Kai and Shayna Baszler are a thing. So um, there's a point where Dakota Kai was going back on, was going on the mic, and she told them that they're gonna go to Roadblock NXT and defend the titles, and then they're gonna come back on Monday and they're gonna beat those two up. So that is what they did there, or that's what they set up there, and yeah, I have a match set up for next week.
Great. Can't wait to not watch that. I also skipped Becky versus Nia. Liv Morgan interfered, giving Jax a DQ win as revenge for last week. And Jax ends up kicking both of their asses. And then Becky and Morgan set up a match that I'm not going to watch next week. And then, how come Morgan sounds like she's crying all the time when she's doing her little confrontations?
I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe that's her voice.
Well, she sucks. Also, she didn't roll on the thumbtacks correctly.
Well, I watch my Liv Morgan segments with the mute on, so
Fair
I
enough.
can tell you.
Well, what'd you think of Becky versus Nia?
I don't know. It was just there. I was interested to see, the direction they were going to actually go. I don't know why I didn't think that they were going to do the fuck finish, but I was like, oh, because Becky Lynch, she's getting a title match. Obviously, she needs to win. Nia Jax, I'm assuming she's going to have a big moment. Still not sure what that moment's going to be, but I'm sure something is going to happen at WrestleMania that includes Nia Jax. So
Maybe
you got
she'll
to keep
wrestle
her going
Omos.
strong. Oh, that'd be good.
Oh yeah, big banger.
But we got to get him on the show to get some wins first.
Who, Omos?
Yeah,
No, you don't.
just
He
show
just
up.
shows up.
No one's gonna know who he is, though.
That's okay. He just shows.
Where's the
That's how they've
build?
been doing it since I know who Omos is. He just shows up. Oh, he's big. Oh, okay. Then they have a little stare down. He pushes him outside the ring. Then they have the match, and he loses.
On a serious note, you know who would be a good almost opponent?
Rey
Braun
Mysterio.
Braun Breaker.
Oh, I don't know.
And then he can jackhammer almost. You don't want to talk about getting over. I know he doesn't even do the jackhammer, but we adopt it. Let's just go ahead and adopt it. Put him
I
in
thought
the
he
black
did do the
trunks.
jackhammer.
No, not yet.
Oh,
Or
what?
let's get that beard. Let's dye it blonde. Put the chainmail on his head.
He doesn't have it. I don't think that would work for him. He doesn't have that grit.
Well, I forgot what his dad's thing was when he went solo. Did he have anything, or was he just
No, he was pretty much the same.
feuding with Chucky? That was his thing.
Oh God.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have to come across that again.
Yay.
Yep.
No, I think he just had a leather jacket. He was pretty much he was pretty much just Rick Steiner. Scott Steiner is the one that really changed.
Yeah.
That's also because they had plans for Scott Steiner. I don't think they really had plans for Rick.
Poor Rick. But it's always that way. One goes up, one goes down.
Yep. He didn't really go down though. He just kind of stayed the same.
Yeah, he wasn't in anything major.
Yeah. So Adam Pearce makes his announcement. He says he can't find a worthy challenger for Gunther's title, but he's gone through the roster and arbitrarily picked 6 men who will compete in a gauntlet match next week to determine which one, thank Christ for that at least, will face Gunther at Mania. And those men are Sami Zayn, Ricochet, Shinsuke Nakamura, Bronson Reed, McTurd, and Chad Gable. Thoughts?
They're all losers.
They are.
But there's only 2 real winners here. Maybe 3. You could see a dark horse in Bronson Reed.
True.
But it's either Sammy or Gable.
Yeah. I think it's going to be Gable.
See, I don't know. I'm thinking it's Sammy.
Okay.
Especially because he's been on this little win streak.
Well, it has to be Gable because that's what we said it would be. Remember months ago?
Oh, yeah.
When Gable was watching Tozawa butt fuck Otis. we said that he's going to be nothing until they just arbitrarily shine the spotlight on him again. And lo and behold,
It happened. Yep. Yep. We knew it was happening.
so Sammy did a shitty promo later. Like, I don't know what the fuck he was talking about. This is his worst promo.
I didn't listen to it. I'm gonna be honest with you here on this promo.
Yeah.
So he was being interviewed by Jackie Redmond, and she was showing some major side boob. So I didn't pay attention to anything, anything else outside of that. So I just got to be honest. Just got to throw it out there. I was trying to pay attention, but that it was like right there.
You know, it's not a good look saying how old we are and then talking about Jackie Redmond's side boob and how you can't pay attention to words. Also, you're a grown ass man. How can you not listen and watch side boob at the same time? Do you not know how to multitask?
Because of the word you said in there. Man. That's why.
Okay. And when you get canceled,
they ain't gonna cancel. How are they gonna cancel me for liking a liking a view? I didn't say anything to her. I didn't say anything about her. I just said there was a view. And
didn't they try to cancel Jericho for asking some chick out?
Yeah, but he actually had like interaction with her. I'm just saying I saw something and it caught my attention. That was it.
Mm-hmm.
I could have been talking about.
No, you specifically said side boob. You already said that. You said Jackie Redmond's side boob. That's all I'm watching.
What if I said her nails
but
were?
You didn't. You didn't. What if you did say that? What if you lied to us? What if you said, "Oh, I just didn't pay attention"?
True.
But no, you said I was staring at her titties. I've never seen titties before. I was too distracted. Side titties at that.
Side boob, yes. So yeah, Sami Zayn did have words, but
yeah, he had
not
words.
The highlight of this segment for me.
The Deer and Ivar, they interrupted, and I guess they're wrestling later. And then Gunther later lies to us for the first time by saying the creme de la creme is going to be vying for the opportunity to face him at Mania. But what they're really competing for is an opportunity to be humiliated and outclassed. Then Gable interrupts. His daughter cried. He still likes to watch Tozawa butt fuck Otis.
And he said he's going to get revenge for Gunther making his daughter cry.
Yeah. I want to take your smile and put it on my daughter's face. Fuck you. Anything else?
No. We'll see where it goes.
Well, what do you think about the because I think we were saying there was going to be a multi-man match for Gunther. And that was going to be his out for losing. So what do you think about them kind of going one-on-one at WrestleMania?
Oh, that's what I was saying. So, yes, the multi-man was his out to lose the title or not get pinned. So 90% that he's not going to lose at WrestleMania. So now that it's a one-on-one match, yeah, I don't think he's losing now.
I think if Gable wins, well, shit, if Gable or Sammy win, it's 50-50.
It'll be a toss-up, but they do have they got the big show coming out in what is
Berlin?
Yeah, the Bash in Berlin. And part of me is thinking he's gonna, because it's in August, I think. So I think he's gonna be holding the title until that comes around, and then maybe lose it there. That would be my guess. And now that he's doing a one-on-one match, yeah. But you're right. It's still because it's either going to be Sammy or Chad Gable.
Right.
So that'll put it 50-50.
I think it'll be Gable. I think they're going to want the best match. I don't know if Sammy's the best opponent for him right now. He's the bigger
Gable
name.
Would be the. Yeah, I guess Gable would be the best story.
Best story, best match.
Yes. But as well, we'll just have to move on from the fact of what has Gable done to get to a WrestleMania match.
What has any of them done?
Let's just put that on the back burner.
Well, what has Sammy done?
Well, Sammy's been on a hot streak. That's what I'm saying.
No, he hasn't. He
now,
beat
it's only
Nakamura.
been 2 weeks. And Ivar. We haven't got there yet, but he beat Ivar too.
But
that's 2
prior to this announcement, his only win was against Nakamura. He got manhandled by Drew. He was out for a while. He's done nothing but lose. And he finally got a win over Nakamura. Ricochet, I didn't even know he was still in the company.
Well, I knew he was there. I just didn't think he was going to be on TV anymore. I was just thinking about him the other day. I was like, well, he was in the Royal Rumble. And I was like, oh, yeah, Ricochet's still around.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go. And Nakamura, he lost to Sammy. They're not even trying. This is really a testament to the mid card, really.
Yeah. I mean, you got to stop. Now, internally, they say wins and losses don't matter. So.
Oh, they do, obviously.
They do to us, but I guess they don't care about the wins and losses internally.
Well, okay, in the grand scheme of things, no, it doesn't matter whether or not you've won 100 matches or lost 100 matches. However, if you're trying to tell a story or, I don't know, try to present this big grand thing, but the players to make that thing grand are presented as nothing, the sum doesn't equal the parts.
Yeah, that's what they're. It was like, oh, we can just turn it on at the end, and people will be okay with it.
I just don't see how you could. Even if you go on the basic principle that wins and losses don't matter. Like Sami Zayn isn't presented. I mean, he's presented on TV, I guess. He gets TV time, but he's not presented as a winner. Ricochet's not even there. Nakamura has cool promos, but he's not presented as a winner either. Bronson Reed, he's presented as a monster, but I can't remember the last time he's won. Didn't he just lose?
You see, you're going back to the wins and losses thing.
No, I'm not.
If you take wins and losses out of it,
because this is supposed to be a sport. This is a sport where, I mean, if you do nothing but end up on your back in every single match that you're in, and then you're facing Gunther or Roman Reigns or anybody, it just doesn't make sense.
I agree with you. I'm just telling you that they don't. Apparently, the wins and losses aren't a big consideration anymore.
Okay, but all right.
So, I know it's just modern wrestling. That's the thing.
It's just
You'll be
dumb.
built as a monster one day, and the next day you're getting rolled up by Tozawa.
Well, they
And
could have. Gable doesn't have to win, or it's not even about. He was watching Tozawa butt fuck Otis. He was in Ruffles commercials. He was fucking doing shit with Maxine. That's not a winner. That's not a champion. Don't get me started on McTurd.
who's only won once since has been on the main roster.
Honestly, Reed might be the best presented of them all.
For sure. Although he did, I think he lost to Champa.
Is that who it was?
Last, yeah,
Yeah.
last time he was on TV or something. No, he lost to Lashley. Last
Okay.
time he was on TV
Which that's
for
not.
for the qualifier.
That's
Now
not a horrible loss.
he did state that so he had a baby, so congratulations there. He was supposed to go to Elimination Chamber, but he had his baby, so that's why he missed it. So maybe that's why he lost the qualifier match, because he couldn't go.
He's on paternity leave or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, good for him. Well, let's move on. Andrade, Ilza, whatever,
El Idolo.
wrestled Apollo Crews. Now,
Now,
it's funny. I was fast forwarding. I can't remember. It may have been Sammy or something happened that I was fast forwarding, and I kind of went past Andrade's entrance, and I actually had to stop and rewind because it looked so cool. Just the red, and I saw the mask. I didn't know who it was at the time. I'm not too familiar with him. I remember his first run, but I didn't really watch it. And all I could think of was poor Apollo Crews.
well, what I was thinking was, man, I thought I like 100%. I thought he was part of the budget cut. That being Apollo Crews.
I remember when he Uha Nation. He had such promise. And I remember I was really big into Kevin Owens at the time. I'm like, oh, they signed him? He's going to knock Kevin Owens off his perch. Look at him. It just never worked out, I guess.
Yeah, his personality isn't quite there. Sad for him, though.
I don't see why. It kind of reminds me of Lashley's.
No, Lashley has personality.
Okay.
Cruz doesn't have any personality.
I don't think Lashley has much.
More so, he doesn't have a character that connects with the crowd. And Lashley does have one. Listen to his reactions. It's surprising to me that he still gets such a reaction that he does. I just remember, when he was getting built up, and then he jumped through the cage and landed on Umaga, builds a WrestleMania hair versus hair match, which we're going to be coming up on. And I think that was I think that was in the teens. I want to say it was 18 or something. Hair versus hair match. 2 canceled. 2 canceled entities fighting for who's going to get their hair shaved off.
Oh, one ain't canceled.
Well, in a sense, they're both canceled.
Mm-mm.
What do you mean, no?
I mean, do you watch the news at all?
No.
Okay. I don't want to get into. Let's just move on. Let's not get into that. We don't want it to go down that road.
Okay.
So Andrade won with La Sombra, and I liked it. I liked I like the little facials he made, and that's why I'm not calling him Dildolio or whatever.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Good presentation, of course.
Yeah, interested to see what he does. They're kind of teasing a Judgment Day thing, so I'm guessing he's going to feud with Dominic at some point.
Yeah, or the whole Judgment Day.
Yeah. Speaking of the Judgment Day, they beat Imperium, and it didn't further anything between Gunther and the rest of the Judgment Day. I don't even know if they mentioned it because I pretty much skipped it.
I guess they didn't really mention the Gunther thing,
Yeah.
but interesting enough, they did mention the Michael Cole. That is, they mentioned the fact that Damian Priest has the briefcase, and there's a lot of people talking about how he's not going to successfully cash in, or he's not ready to be champion. Um, which I found that was interesting that they actually brought that up on commentary.
I think they have before. I'm not sure.
They have,
I don't know now that I said that out loud.
but yeah, it's like, he is Mr. Money, and oh yeah, and he's working to prove the doubters wrong. So that's why he's like working with more intensity now.
They kind of cooled off on him.
Well, they ain't got too much more time. They better figure it out. Even if it's a failed cash in, they got to figure it out. I think it happens around WrestleMania time, though.
I think he cashes it in on Drew McIntyre.
Still holding that McIntyre wins, and then he cashes in.
Oh yeah, then Drew McIntyre's going to lose his shit. It's going to be great. At least that's what I hope.
Yeah, that would be a good moment.
I want to see Drew McIntyre go Old Testament on Judgment Day.
And then that, and then that feuds until you can bide some time until CM Punk gets back with that too.
Yep. And that's the feud. I don't want to see Punk and Rollins. I want to see Punk and McIntyre.
I think at this point, McIntyre's kind of stole it from Rollins, which is interesting. Like, yeah, I think that's a bigger feud right now.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially since he's been mentioning Punk pretty much every week and
nonstop.
Yeah. It's like he's like, nope, this is my feud now.
Well, speaking of McIntyre, he gets into the kitchen. The lady asks McIntyre if he thinks Rollins listened to what he had to say last week. And McIntyre's, nope, not for 1 second, because Rollins is a spotlight junkie. Punk's back, there's Rollins. Cody's back, there's Rollins. Rock's back, don't know why there's Rollins, but there he is. And then Rollins, he's a grown man, so I don't give a shit what happens as long as he shows up to give me my title at Mania, because it deserves so much better. It's a good promo.
It was.
Or interview or whatever.
This was Kathy Kelly, and she was fully covered. So I heard everything Drew McIntyre said.
Good.
Every word.
You fuck. Sami Zayn beat Ivar. Reed attacked him after the match.
Oh, wait, before.
Oh, yep.
There's this weird thing with the women's division, tag team division, that is.
Oh.
So they're doing a backstage segment. You got Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. They're talking about losing their title match and how Shayna and Zoe are getting a title match. Indy's saying, "Oh, don't worry, we'll get it next time." Being all happy go lucky. Pan over, and in the same locker room, there's Natty and Tegan Knox. Natty is telling Tegan Knox that if you, I'm a veteran. If you listen to me, we would be winning more. And they go back and forth about, I guess, I don't remember it, but I guess they were trying to throw each other out in the Royal Rumble, and Tegan Knox threw out Natalia. So they brought that up. I don't remember that,
They got
but
dumped at the same time. Natalia tried to dump out Tegan Knox. They did the thing where they were working together, and then they were posing, and then Natty tried to do the surprise toss out.
Okay. So yeah, Tegan Knox brought that up, and then Natty's like, I don't remember it happening that way.
Yeah, and then she
Anyways,
threw in her dad's line like she always does.
yeah. So and then pan over again, and now we got Maxine Dupree and Ivy Nile,
Ugh.
and
It's like
Maxine is
it's like the complete opposite. You got Ivy Nile and Maxine Dupree. It's like
polar opposites.
yes.
Maybe that's the appeal of it.
Smooth and wrinkled. That's the team name.
So yeah, they're talking to Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. Well, I'm sorry. Right before that, Candice was like, Natalia might be onto something. Maybe we should start taking over. Stop being so nice. And yeah, Maxine and Ivy Nile, they try to pep talk Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell, saying, "You've got this." And Candice LeRae's like, "You've only had," talking to Maxine, "you've only had 3 matches. Like, I'm not going to take advice from someone who couldn't even lace my boots." And she walks off, and Indy's like, I'll talk to her. So I bring all that up because, there might be a heel turn there happening for Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell, or at least Candice LeRae. I always thought she worked better as a heel, so yeah, there's that. Now, are they going to push her? That's the real question of all this.
So Sami Zayn beat Ivar.
Next, yes.
Sami
You don't
Zayn
got to
beat
input.
Ivar. And I mean, I don't know what to say to that.
I was just talking to the audience there.
Yeah.
I know the less you say about it, probably the
Well, I saw the two nobodies, and then I saw Natty and the other one, her hair looked good. She looked nice. She looked like she smelled like strawberries. But then Natty did her, we need to get hungry and forget our manners or whatever the fuck. And it's like, she always tries to, I don't know. I hate it when they do like the catchphrases. Nothing's organic. It's just buzzwords and noises. And it's like the fucking Pee Wee Herman show.
well.
Anyway, Sami Zayn beat Ivar. Reed attacked him after the match. And I hope everybody involved in the antler segment contracts an incurable disease and they suffer horribly.
Michael Cole massively popped from getting those antlers. It's actually the most entertaining part of the whole match. Maybe you could almost argue outside of the opening segment, probably the whole night was Michael Cole overreacting to those antlers.
We have two very different views of what entertaining is.
We do. Because I was sitting there. I mean, it wasn't a bad show, but as a wrestling heavy all the time.
Gunther was a focus, which is good. And I like going back just a little bit, I like just before his match with Dominic where they did that shot of him just staring in the distance in the locker room, smiling. What was he staring at?
Oh, I don't even know.
What was he laughing at? It looked like it was funny. Maybe somebody fell. maybe, maybe somebody
They said
fell and
it.
horribly hurt themselves and he thought it was funny.
They said it, or he was doing it as they were talking about. They were setting up the match
Mhm.
coming up after the break. So I can only think he was just thinking about, oh man, I'm about to fuck this kid up. He was just like daydreaming it and getting off.
Fair enough. But yeah, the antler segment, that's just another thing that Cole does now. Just like vintage Orton and look at Drew's tremendous core strength. It's just another fucking catchphrase that he has. And yeah. Nothing
About
about
you
him
and
is,
catchphrases.
huh?
I said, we know how you like catchphrases.
Yeah. Well, just nothing about him is organic. And I think that's why like JR and even Vince and Jesse, I think that's why they all like resonate with me, because they kind of just spoke off the cuff. It wasn't always great. It wasn't always polished. But it wasn't fucking Michael Cole.
Yeah, fair enough.
Jay McIntyre beat Jey Uso. And Solo came out for the interference, but Cody came to neutralize him. And then Jimmy came out for the distraction. So McIntyre hit his Claymore. And only after Jimmy grabs a chair does Seth come out. And then Seth takes out Jimmy. Then he eats a Claymore. And McIntyre, he kneels over Seth and he says, don't be selfish, because this is exactly what's going to happen if he keeps going down this path. He says, do what's right, Seth. And that's how we end Raw.
I do like how it's all tied together. Like everything is tied together. So that segment you had the bloodline interfere in. Well, okay, so Jimmy interferes against Jay. He costs Jay the match. Cody Rhodes comes out to help Jay because he's getting distracted by the bloodline. Seth Rollins comes out to also further save because he's also intertwined with the bloodline. When he comes out to help, Drew McIntyre is walking back. He didn't even like acknowledge him or look at him. So then this pissed Drew's off. So he then goes in, Claymore Seth Rollins, so the tie-in to that story, the whole story of Seth Rollins is overlooking Drew McIntyre. So that played out. And then as we're going off the air, the fans are chanting CM Punk to Drew McIntyre. So it all ties into a big circle.
And it's great.
Yeah. Everything
Except for
is
the Seth Rollins part.
well, that's also what they're doing there is something. He's not paying attention to his own thing.
I do appreciate that McIntyre is pretty much saying what, I don't know. I don't want to say logical people, because I don't want to put my, I don't want to say like, oh, I'm the only one, I'm smart. But I do like he's saying what I'm at least thinking. Like, why the fuck is Rollins even worried about? He's got to face Drew McIntyre.
Right. Yep. That should be his number one focus, and that's the whole story.
Mm-hmm. But that was Raw. And then we fly up north just a little bit to Dallas, Texas. It was north. Yeah, north. And The Rock is in the building, and the most effeminate pickup truck I've ever seen in my life. and he's flanked by security. And Roman is there, also flanked by security. And Cody is in the building, and he's flanked by whatever the fuck Seth Rollins is supposed to be. And they're followed by security and Nick Aldis.
I think it's a snake.
I don't know.
I'm sorry. It's a what did I write down? A down comforter with holes in it. Armholes.
Okay. I just, yeah. He wore that all night too.
He did.
Had a whole hour to change for his big confrontation with The Rock, but he said, "Nope, this is what I choose to as my representation." So Logan Paul came out, and I didn't watch any of it. No, I did watch when they tried to what him, and he said, "I'm not going to do it." And then they still whatted him, and he said, "You guys suck."
Well, Logan Paul. Yeah, he ran down the fact that he's a moment maker. He's by far had the best rookie year, and he's the most viral athlete in the company, and he's already United States champion.
Is that true though? Because didn't Jinder Mahal, didn't he, or is trending not the same as being viral? See, I'm an old man. I don't know these fancy terms.
Yeah, being viral is different, but you're right. Jinder Mahal had that segment with The Rock, which was the most viral until it wasn't. So yeah, you're right. But yes, that's what he was bragging about. And then he said, "This is a big night for me." And he said, and it's not, well, for me and the WWE. And he announces that starting at all future PLEs, that Prime, that is his little Gatorade type energy drink, sports drink. That's an energy drink. They also have an energy drink, but it's a sports drink.
Yeah,
it's very
I'm
important
drinking
information.
the fruit punch right now. Tropical punch. I'm sorry.
There you go. So yeah, going forward for all PLEs,
it tastes like ass.
Well,
the original is much better.
That is that is Heel Harry saying that. Don't come after me, Tyson. Tyson, don't come after me. But yeah, for bad reviews. Anyway, they are going to be the center mat advertisement for all PLEs going forward. AKA, there's a Prime bottle in the middle of the ring for all PLEs.
So they're paying Logan Paul to have an ugly ass bottle of his ugly ass drink in the middle of the wrestling mat.
Yeah. So all night you're going to see Prime bottles.
Great.
Now, this was brilliant. And I'm going to tell you why it's brilliant. So Logan Paul, as right now he's a heel.
Mm-hmm.
And he's hated, like majorly hated. And I think we did a video on it, but we already talked about it. WWE, they were going to do this mat advertisement anyway. So it's perfect to put Logan Paul's Prime, who's already hated, in that position so that he gets the heat from, "Oh, these things are stupid. This sucks. Why do they have to put advertisements on the ring? What's next? They're going to do the turnbuckle." He can take all that. And then after a month or two, then you can slip in, Slim Jim or whoever else is going to go next. You can put the show podcast and center ring. I wonder how much that would cost.
Way more than only.
Is that of our price range?
Yeah. Well, first of all, we'd have to get in line.
I don't know. Could we maybe we can have like one of the bottom turnbuckles? Bottom turnbuckle, not on camera. How about that?
Just the underneath side.
Yeah, yeah. Put us at the underneath one of the bottom turnbuckles.
Yeah.
Like,
We know it's there.
can we at least get it on camera a little bit? Like, what about like just the outside?
Damn, I'd have to watch Nia Jax matches.
Oh yeah, see that shot right there.
Yeah.
They chose.
Great. When you see Nia Jax ass, think of the show podcast.
Yeah, but yeah, that's why it's such a brilliant idea.
I just wish they would think of something better than just the bottle.
Well,
I don't mind the. I mean, I think it's dumb, but in the grand scheme of things, it really doesn't matter that there's a logo in the middle of the ring. And you're right, it does. I think Logan's the perfect one for it because he has the product. He's got the, the fight background and all that shit. And he is hated and he can take that heat. So
yeah,
for
I mean,
everything you just said, just my issue is that it's a bottle.
that's true. But also, UFC does it, and you don't even. They're just there. The only
Right.
thing I think about is like, I wonder how slick that is, and if they would ever slip on it.
But the UFC they have Zions, which is kind of a cool logo.
And Venom and
Yeah. It seems like they use visually appealing logos. And I don't know how it's going to work with just a bottle.
so that's your problem is just that what it is, not what it represents.
Yeah, I don't give a shit about Logan Paul.
No, I mean like it representing the fact that we're now getting advertisements on the canvas of the wrestling ring.
Yeah, no, I think it's dumb, but I mean, they're with the UFC. It only makes sense that it's not surprising.
Yeah, like I said, I think we did a video about that a while ago when they signed.
Yeah,
Yeah, the opening. Yeah, when we did the video, I don't know if we did a clip of it, but when we did the video about WWE signing with TKO, I was like, are they gonna do this or like? That wouldn't be surprising if they, if we start seeing advertisements in the ring.
exactly. And it makes sense. And Vince isn't there anymore, and it seems like they're more open to doing new things, and they're not afraid to make money, even if it bastardizes what once was WWE.
Now, how long until they start putting on like trunks on the wrestlers' trunks?
I don't know, man.
Would that be too far? I mean, Brock Lesnar, yeah. I guess I can say that name. He's just in the P. Brock Lesnar, he used to have like Jimmy Johns on his wrestling trunks.
Brock Lesnar also dressed like a fighter.
He did.
I think if you have, I don't know, Dragon Lee with Jimmy Johns.
On his dick.
Yeah. Or
Yeah, that would be a jarring
McDonald's
thing.
on one of Dominic's accessories.
Yeah, that'd probably be a little too far. All that.
Yeah.
Let's just keep it to the ring. Unless, I mean, and then because I believe the fighters they get their own sponsors, and that's what they're putting on them. So
That's true.
if they're getting their own sponsors, they get their own cut of it. But WWE couldn't do that.
No, they could now.
Well,
Vince
I'm
is
saying they
gone.
wouldn't let the wrestlers be making their own brand deals. We'll give you the brands. And we'll take, 55 and you get 45. Or 55 and you get 35 and then we put you know, we got to pay our investors too, or whatever. How that works. But that could be all crazy thing. But yeah, we're getting in-ring advertisements now that they are here. The rest of that segment, um, after that was revealed, Logan Paul calls out who was sitting at ringside, KSI, who was his partner on this whole
Ugh,
Prime thing,
fuck it.
and they're just posing
Of
to
course.
take pictures for the monumental moment. Randy Orton's music hits, and then he does a RKO. Well, he tries to RKO Logan Paul, but Logan Paul rolls out of the ring, and then he RKO's KSI,
Of course he does.
and that's how. And then he drags him and puts him over the Prime bottle that's on the canvas advertisement, and then they do the overhead shot showing him passed out on the Prime bottle, and then that's your picture. It's a funny picture, but yeah, that's how the segment ends. So yeah, we are getting the advertisements.
Ugh. Unfortunately, we got KSI too.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know too much about him. I know he does like the Sidemen, and I know the Randolph guy in the Sidemen. I don't like more because he tries he thinks he's somewhere else. He thinks he's a different race.
he
He does rap music too. This being Randall. So yeah, who you think you
yeah,
are, boy?
they were I got hip to KSI during a I got into the YouTube rap scene, and it was what they call diss track season. So all these YouTube rappers are making diss tracks to each other. It was like a little fucking game.
Oh,
But KSI has a brother, Deji, and Deji's this nerdy little guy. Looks like a strong gust of wind would blow him over. He's tried boxing a couple times, and I think he boxed Logan Paul actually, Logan or Jake Paul. Of course, he lost.
mm. I
But
thought that
he
was KSI who did that. No,
KSI boxed Jake Paul, and Deji boxed Logan Paul, I believe, or vice
okay.
versa. But Deji, he got a couple of YouTube rappers together and released this long ass diss track on KSI. Talked about talked about he got an abortion and shit. And yeah, he ended up apologizing. Then they got into a fight again. I don't know where they are with that. I kind of
Mm.
stopped losing interest, or started losing interest rather.
Well, it's a good time to mention, I guess, that Jake Paul will be fighting Mike Tyson.
Is it going to be an exhibition or is it going to be a real fight?
That's what I was asking. Well, it's an exhibition.
Okay.
Um, but I'm like, okay, well, I understand it's an exhibition, but you know, is Mike Tyson gonna like go hard, or is he gonna, you know, play play to Jake, play it as an exhibition? Because if he goes hard, it's not gonna be a good night for even even at 50 years old. If he like goes like, because he is still, a world class boxer.
He's still Mike Tyson too.
Yeah.
I think it
So
all depends on how serious Mike Tyson takes it.
yeah, if he comes in there like prepared, like he's like like he was fighting Lennox Lewis or something, it
Coming in
ain't
all
gonna.
steel faced, like, oh shit.
Yeah, like yeah, like it'd almost be like Hogan when he Rocky 3, no, Rocky 2, or maybe it was Rocky 1.
It was Rocky 3.
He's like, hey, and Rocky's like, hey, you're taking this easy, right? Yeah. And he's like, dead ass serious. Exhibition. And he's getting thrown around. So yeah, if Mike goes in there and he's like serious, it is not going to be pretty for Paul.
We'll see.
But if he takes it lightly, then yeah, it'll go the distance and someone will win.
I don't know. Every time I think that fucker's gonna get his ass kicked, he manages to pull it out. So,
well, this one ain't the one.
I mean, if he does, man, God,
no, there's no way.
I know, but if he does,
Well, I guess there is a way because as they say, it only takes one punch. But
yeah, Mike Tyson could slip.
yeah, but I was watching like training last year or so. I was watching those training videos from Mike Tyson. He's working the bags. He still got it.
Yeah.
I don't, and he's still maybe he's not as fast as he was, but he still got the power. So
Yeah, that's him when he's smoking weed.
yeah.
Think about
So
when he
it'll be
starts eating
interesting.
kale and shit.
I'll definitely watch it.
I'll probably.
It'll be on Netflix, unfortunately. So I'm gonna have to figure that out. But I have to,
Well, Orton and Owens beat Waller and Theory after that, of course. And then Logan Paul attacked Orton and Owens after the match. I thought the double clothesline that Paul did was really funny. Just the way he
how he
dove
jumped
and
up like high.
yeah. Paul tried to use the brass knuckles on Orton, but Orton got them. He just took them. He tries to hit Paul, and he ducks out of the ring. They tease him striking Owens, but then they fist bump, and yeah. Oh, and then Randy hid the knuckles in his trunk next to his Viper.
Yep. So he has them. So maybe now I kind of see. Maybe now they're gonna do like a tag team match: Logan Paul and KSI versus Randy Orton and Kevin Owens, which shouldn't be a competitive match. But they got to have their spectacle, um, celebrity representation.
Ugh.
So maybe that's where we slip that
KSI
in.
is not a celebrity.
He is for those kids. For the YouTube world.
Well, Bailey did an interview, and she questioned everything about her time in Damage Control. Was her friendship with Io and Dakota Kai even real? And Dakota turned on her when she was at her most vulnerable. And the lady asked, or she said that some people say that you deserve this, Bailey, and that you have it coming to you. And Bailey says that the bad things that she did was just for attention and mostly for her friends Io and Dakota, no matter who it hurt in the process. Now she's all alone, but it's made her more focused. Bailey built Damage Control with all her heart. Now she's going to do everything in her soul to break them down. Cool.
Yeah.
Naomi and
real
Belair.
thing happened afterwards.
What's that?
I was just gonna say the real thing happened afterwards.
Oh, okay. Naomi and Belair have a thing. And Naomi says she feels bad for Bailey. Belair says she doesn't give two fucks about Bailey because she brought it on herself. And then she gets kind of bitchy. Actually, they both get bitchy with each other. Bianca's like, well, you weren't here. If you were here, she would have turned on you. And Naomi's like, well, I feel bad for her, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it ends up with Belair just saying, oh, I hope she's good, or Good luck at WrestleMania. There, I said something nice. I'm sitting there thinking, like, what the fuck is Naomi doing with her hair? She looked like Rick James in drag.
Her eyelashes too.
How's that shit just not fall out? Is that real hair?
No.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know. They're setting up that she and maybe even Bianca are gonna help damage control. I'm sorry, gonna help Bailey. So Bailey's gonna have to. She's gonna overcome damage control, and with the help of her friends. So I guess it's kind of set in stone that Bailey's gonna be winning at WrestleMania.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Which is okay. Like, there's gonna have to be some titles that change hands at WrestleMania.
That's true. You're right. So this was the real segment?
Well, I'm saying that's what Bailey was saying. You know, she's all alone. She's gonna do this all alone. That was the setup that she's
Gotcha.
actually got some backup coming.
I don't know what the fuck Naomi's doing with her hair. God damn. Bobby Lashley beat Karrion. No, he didn't. He wrestled Karrion Kross. And then the Authors of Pain attacked Lashley to cause a DQ. Street Profits came in. Scarlett and Lashley's woman had a thing. Lashley, he went for a full Nelson on Kross. But AOP, they get Lashley. Kross hits his move. They stand tall. And so they cut to Paul Ellering, and he has this white glove on. And he's holding up a fist. And to me, it looked like he was holding up Mr. Sacco.
Fair enough.
And it was a good match, just dumb finish. And I don't care about any of it.
All right. I wasn't into it. I'm gonna have to be honest here.
What?
I'm gonna have to be honest here. I was not into this match at all.
Kross? No, we need to get on the Karrion Kross bandwagon. What are you doing?
I know. I was like, oh no, am I wrong?
You are wrong. I've been telling you.
No, we still got time. We can turn it around.
We don't have time.
We can
You're
heat it up. I'm telling you, after WrestleMania, it's gonna happen.
Okay.
We're just like biding time for now.
All right. You know, is this gonna go into WrestleMania where we're gonna get a 6-man tag?
No, I don't think.
Oh, we're gonna get a 4-man intergender match.
I don't think they'll be. Well, they might be at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I would say we don't do that at WrestleMania.
It's gonna be Lashley, Kross, Authors of Pain, Street Profits, and the 2 chicks.
Well, I know that's coming, but I don't know if it. Maybe on the pre-show. They gotta have pre-show matches.
No, they got 2 nights.
I know, but
they got 2 nights. They already have people pulling double duty. I think they have a spot.
Okay.
I think they're at least doing a 6-man.
That'll be good for them. Get in front of a big crowd, you know, an invested crowd in that feud.
At least Lashley will have a WrestleMania match.
Yeah, there's that too.
They won't just.
I mean,
they won't just say, "Hey, Lashley, why don't you just come out and stand?"
Well, there at least maybe there's still time to get like something in the feud.
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
it's been going on for 3 weeks.
No, there's time. Something can happen.
And
then they'll turn it all
There's
around.
nothing else that can happen.
Something could happen. Something.
Anything short of the Street Profits gang raping Scarlett in the middle of the ring, there's nothing that can happen to make this feud interesting. Sorry.
I'm sure they can do something.
The ship has sailed.
No, there's still time.
It's at the bottom of the ocean.
Wait until after WrestleMania, you'll see.
They've made movies about it already.
You will see.
Okay. So Dragon Lee's still alive. And Escobar and his group are laughing at him for thinking he's Rey Mysterio. He had a Rey Mysterio shirt on. He did kind of look like a geek. And Escobar calls Lee nothing. Lee shoves Escobar. Then his goons shove Lee to the ground and then laugh at him some more. I think one of the goons has a match with Lee or something.
Yes, Angel, formerly known as Angel Garza, now just Angel,
Cool.
has a match later.
Tiffany Stratton beat Mia Yim. Did they wrestle already?
I don't remember.
Okay. I think they did, or at least I thought they did. Anyway, good match. Even though she fucked up her moonsault, I still hate Mia Yim.
She didn't fuck it up.
She fucked that up.
She
It's
didn't.
okay. It was a good match.
She missed the first part of the springboard, and
Yeah,
she
she had a
went down
reset.
reset.
Yeah.
So she didn't fuck it up. She just
Yeah,
reset.
she fucked it up. It's okay.
And this is this is where we don't mark.
I'm not marking. She fucked up her moonsault. It's a fact.
Nah. We can cut that out.
We're not going to cut out anything. I think it is a shame that Kaiser gets to fuck her. Your reaction to the side boob was my reaction to this Tiffany Stratton match. I actually had to rewind it.
Well, I was this match was on during, and the roommate was like walking in the room, and I had to turn the channel. I was like, I can't even.
Like it was like it's porn.
Yeah, I can't even get caught watching this match. Can't explain this. So,
But no, she looked really good. She looked dominant.
she's got the aura and the presence. She's
I don't know why
deal.
Mia Yim's still doing the Styles Clash. And she needs to get just drop that too sweet shit. Who the fuck does she think she is?
She's in the OC.
Ugh.
And
Is the
AJ
OC
Styles
even
not.
a thing anymore?
I guess so. I don't know.
Okay.
AJ's out.
Yeah, it seems like it. But yeah, big ups to Stratton. She's the first female to make me rewind. AJ Styles did a vignette or an interview, or I don't know what it was. And he says Knight walks around like he owns the place, but he doesn't deserve to be in the same locker room as Styles. And Styles is still pissed that Knight took AJ's title shot. And he says he's got a humble Knight. And then they cut to Knight, who's watching Raw at the time. He's just sitting, watching TV in the locker room. And he still has the chair from Elimination Chamber, and then he takes it out on the TV. And he wants Styles next week.
Yep, so it looks like we're getting a Styles Knight WrestleMania match.
Yep. I don't know. I don't know if I'm excited about this one.
I'm okay with it. Even though it's, AJ Styles.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Escobar's goon lost to Dragon Lee, and Lee actually beat him with Ray's Hurricanrana roll-up thing. And then Escobar's group beat Ray's ass, or Lee's ass after the match. And then Escobar says that, shouts in the camera that Lee's ass beating was Ray's fault.
Yep.
And Damage Control, they've had a thing. Again, I don't know if this was a promo or a vignette or I don't know what the fuck. But they're all standing together, and Dakota Kai says Bailey's out of her mind because she has always been the brains of damage control. And Sane says if Bailey were smarter, she'd have seen this coming faster. And Asuka says that manipulating Bailey was easy, like it always has been. And Io says that Bailey has never been a part of her vision. It has always been Io's era from day one. And then Dakota Kai challenges Bailey to a match next week.
And I believe that's already made official. Dakota Kai versus Bailey.
Yay. It'd be a badass. I don't know. This whole thing would be badass if these women were badasses.
I just think, they're kind of getting overshadowed because of the bloodline story.
Well, naturally.
Everything's taking a back seat.
Well, doesn't I just don't understand why. I get why one would be a priority. Obviously, the bloodline would be a priority. I just don't understand why you would put something on television that sucks. Or I don't know why you wouldn't give it your all or put thought into it or anything.
Well, what did I say? This is going to happen with Cody if The Rock wasn't around. He's going to have to go through each member of the bloodline until we get to WrestleMania. Oh, now that's what's happening with Bailey.
Fair enough. So we cut to Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins, the locker room. And all throughout the show, they've been showing the door of the locker room with their little logos. And there's a group of security dudes just standing with their arms folded. So at the end of the show, Nick Aldis, he asked the security guys to move so he can knock on the door. Nobody answers. Aldis goes in and he sees that nobody's in there. So apparently, Rollins hid away an escape kit in his costume.
And it was big enough to hide one in it.
It was. Aldis is understandably pissed off and he heads to the ring and you never see him again.
No, he was there ringside during
Oh,
the
was
whole
he?
thing. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't see him.
Yeah, there was like one shot that showed him.
Oh, all right. So Roman and the Bloodline come out.
Oh, I was just going to say,
Oh, go ahead.
I was kind of let down by that. I thought we were getting some kind of angle, like, oh, the bloodline beat the shit out of him, and then we're gonna come back from commercial break, and we're gonna see the beating and battered Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. Nope, they just weren't in there. That's it. They just weren't in there. They had already headed to the ring. I guess that was the payoff on that.
Yeah, they're gutsy baby faces.
Yeah, I just thought, oh, are we actually gonna get some kind of like story, or like some kind of out of the ring thing that's happening here?
That
But
would
no.
be interesting. Like Aldis, he opens the door and you just see a blood smear on the wall.
Yeah.
And Aldis is, oh my God, get medics.
Or like The Rock drives off in that truck and they're tied to the truck. Obviously, you would do it safely, but yeah, maybe like a prosthetic or I don't know. Make it look real.
Why don't you just have him tied up in the back of the truck?
No, you drag them.
All right.
But again, like actually do it. Just make it look like you did.
I don't know how that's possible.
I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. I just thought something outside of the ring was going to happen, but it didn't.
No, it didn't. Yeah, so Roman and the Bloodline come out, and I noticed that they got rid of the CGI Roman, which is good.
Oh yeah, they did.
And I think McIntyre might be the only one that has that. He still has the sword. Rock comes out to his own music, and I don't know about you, but I thought the lightning thing was dumb. Like, I know what they were trying to do, but it just kind of ruined it for me when I saw him walking out.
I don't know. I thought it was good. I liked
Okay,
it.
of course.
So yeah, the what happens is Roman comes out, and then the arena goes dark for like a couple seconds, and then you got if you smell, and then the Brahma Bull shows up on the Titantron, and you got like lightning bolts. And the silhouette of the Rock standing there, and the lightning bolts are going down all around him with the sound effect. I don't know. I liked it,
Okay.
and I was like, okay, so the Rock, he's putting on the Versace stuff, the $1,000 shirts.
Ricky Stark's vest.
Yeah, so he's putting on the $1,000 pieces of clothing. That was step one. And then now we've already ramped up to fireworks, or I'm sorry, and the thunderbolts and the big animation of his entrance.
Yeah, they
Like,
fucked up though. They should have done the Hollywood Rock theme.
yeah, they should have brought that back. But he's like already, I don't know. It's like they're telling a story that each week more and more he's upstaging Roman. Um, and like you said, it almost feels like they're kind of fast tracking the turn.
As they always do.
Yeah, I mean, you could play it out for a year and then pay off at WrestleMania 41, but it looks like you're trying to. I mean, they still probably will pay off at 41, but it feels like, we only got 3 more weeks of this before it goes away.
Right.
And then we're going to have Cody Rhodes as champion, and he's going to be feuding with uh, Randy Orton or Kevin Owens. And then people are going to, within the end of that month, people are going to be like, oh, Cody's boring. All he does is win. So, yeah, there's that too. I just gave you the next 2 months.
It's almost like wrestling fans aren't ever happy.
They're not.
Yeah. So Roman took his Midol this week because he's all smiles, and he and The Rock slap hands for just no reason, and he asked the fans to acknowledge them. And Cody's music plays, and Cody comes out through the fans, and so does Rollins, who has something on his face. Did you happen to get a good look at that?
I didn't. I had to get it from the interwebs. So it was a piece of tape that had $7 Production, which is like the Rock's media company. That was written on the tape.
It was just over his mouth.
Yeah. Well, I didn't get the whole picture of it, but I'm sorry, like the meaning of it all. I'm sorry, it said Team $7. That's what it said on the tape. But why
Okay.
is the tape over his mouth? Not wouldn't the tape be? It sounds like the Seinfeld episode. But wouldn't he have the tape on his mouth?
I don't know. Maybe he's trying to say that The Rock's trying to silence. It's dumb.
Yeah, it went over my head, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's what he had on the tape.
So they cut to commercial, and then when they come back, Rock and Roman are alone in the ring, and then Cody and Rollins are approaching, and we see later
So,
that
oh, I was gonna say, so we get the one whoa, and then we go to the commercial, come back, and they're still getting in the ring, and we got another whoa. But to the live crowd, the song never stopped playing, so that would have been like at least their third or fourth whoa.
Well, kudos to them for the whoa dedication.
Yeah.
Well, we later see Jimmy, Solo, and Heyman. They're at ringside, so they don't completely leave. Doesn't matter because they're not much of a factor at all. For once, Heyman doesn't say anything. It's weird. So Cody grabs the mic and he says it's tense right now, but I think all four of us should just savor this moment in front of a sold-out Dallas, Texas crowd. Of course, that gets a chant. And Cody tells Rock he heard his challenge and the stipulations that came with it. He asks Rock if he has the authority to make the stipulation since he acknowledged Roman as the tribal chief. And Cody's about to give the answer, and then Rock interrupts him and tells him to shut his mouth. And he calls Rollins a walking clown show and to shut his mouth before he even starts talking. And Rock says he acknowledged Roman because that's what family does. And Rock reiterates the match stipulations again, and dumbfuck crowd chants diarrhea at Rock. And Rollins starts dancing in a Snuggie. Fuck Rollins. Rock then asks Cody if he accepts the challenge, and then Rollins tells Rock to shut the fuck up. Rollins says that Rock has had his time, but he can't have theirs. And Rollins accepts the match on everybody's behalf. And then Rollins laughs. He's like, "You're going to let that crossdresser make decisions for you, Cody? You must be from Texas." And then Roman says when he beats Cody at Mania, your story's over. You don't get another shot at the title. Rock calls Rollins a clown or walking clown emoji piece of shit. And he'll make sure that Cody and Seth lose. He'll make sure that Cody and Seth lose, and he'll make sure that Rollins' title goes away. And he confirms that Cody will never get another title shot if he loses to Roman. That's a lot.
It was.
And Rock tells Cody that their ancestors are looking down on them. Then Rock asks Cody, "You're the youngest of three, right? You have a sister that was a cheerleader for the Cowboys. Your brother's a Hall of Famer. But you're 20 years younger than them, right? You know why that is? Because you were a mistake." Then Cody slaps The Rock, and we fade to black as The Rock turns to Cody with a smile on his face. And I think they need to bring Stephanie to the Performance Center to teach these men how to slap.
It wasn't a good slap.
This was not a good slap, no. It's kind of a sissy slap. It was kind of a, I'm not trying to hurt you slap.
Well, a lot happened in that segment.
It did.
A lot of different directions. Like you can now, it looks like they're teasing like a double turn. Rollins turning on Cody, and The Rock turning on Roman.
I don't think Rollins is turning on Cody.
Well, here's the thing. He accepted the challenge.
Right.
And then did you see how Cody was looking at him? Like, really? Because again, what did we say? What's in, like, there's no stipulation for Rollins. So this was really Cody's decision to make, and Rollins accepted it. So
yeah, I guess.
I don't know that. I thought that was an important piece of the puzzle.
I just think it would be the dumbest thing you could possibly do would be to turn on Cody just before your title match with Drew McIntyre.
Well, that's the thing. Where's the title match happening? If it's guaranteed night 2,
It is. It's
then
the co-main event.
okay,
They already said it.
okay. Well, he could still turn. So I think we're all in an agreement that Rollins is going to be a casualty of this war, aka he's going to lose his title. So maybe then that's like his tipping point. You cost me my title, even though Drew's been telling me that this was going to happen, and I didn't listen because I thought that you know I could overcome it all, but I didn't, and now it's your fault
Okay, so he turns on him on the
because
Roman
he
match.
loses. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, that I'll buy. Just I don't see him turning at the tag match.
yeah, but yeah, they kind of teased that, and then as I was saying, The Rock, because of the lightning bolts now added to his entrance, like every week, it's something that like adds more and more to The Rock. So I think they're like, I don't know, trying to get it to a point where Roman's gonna get jealous, like you're upstaging me a little bit, and I'm the tribal chief. So
Who do you think wins the tag match?
I think I honestly don't know. Right now, I'm leaning Rock and Roman.
Who gets the pin? Or
Uh,
more
who
importantly,
eats
who
the
gets
pin?
pinned? Yeah.
Rollins.
So
Honestly,
he's gonna get pinned in the tag match, and then he's gonna get pinned in his title match.
I mean, yeah, storyline wise, the only if you're like really thinking deep and you're trying to protect everybody, yada yada. Um, the only one who would make the most sense of taking the fall during the tag match is The Rock, or it could be Cody. So you can pin Cody on night 1 because he's winning night 2, and then on the other side you pin The Rock night 1 because Roman's winning night 2. Because Roman, just like Seth, Roman is not losing twice.
Right.
So if he loses the tag match, he's not going to lose the single match.
You
So
mean if he gets pinned, or
no,
if
like
he loses the match?
if his team loses, he's not losing the singles match.
Okay.
Well, I just don't see it.
You don't see how taking all the advantages away from Roman would.
Well, because
I think if Roman gets pinned, you're right. I think if The Rock um, gets pinned, or he causes them to lose or whatever, I think there's still a chance that Cody can win, and I think that would cause an issue between Roman and Rock for next year.
yeah, that could be a way. You cost me my title because you made the stupid ass stipulation.
Yeah,
Matter of fact, it shouldn't even been WrestleMania at all. Like
or
none of it.
Rock can go away for a while, and then, or not Rock, Roman can go away for a while after he loses, and that means Rock is in control of the bloodline now. Rock can come, or Roman can come back as a baby face or something.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see who goes into WrestleMania next year as the babyface. Because one of them will need to.
That's true.
But yeah, so many directions. I think it feels like WWE is just like throwing out different teasers just to keep us off on our toes. So
Which is good.
yeah,
I like it.
absolutely.
It's definitely not boring. It might suck, but it's definitely not boring.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Night un of WrestleMania, and then night D.
All right.
So
Well,
night
that was.
un and night D. I don't know.
All right. Well, that was SmackDown. You want to go ahead and shill for us?
Oh, I didn't do it last segment. You
Nope.
skipped right over it. Oh, we're on our way to
We skipped
500.
right over it.
No, you skipped. You just like dove right into SmackDown. Maybe I forgot, but oh no, I didn't forget. I don't know what happened now. I had an audience, so I decided to. I had a live audience, so I decided to miss it for now. But we're on our way to 500 subscribers, so if you want to give us a help out with that, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. We're on all the social medias, the Sorrow Podcast 7 on all the social medias, TikTok if it is still around, and then
Yeah, it
all
is.
the others.
Profile.
Huh?
They looked at our profile.
Oh, yeah. They passed or I don't know if they actually passed it or they're about to pass it, but apparently they're kicking TikTok out of the America.
Oh, damn it! I gotta find another place to upload that video.
Oh, well, it ain't gonna happen like immediate. I think by like the end of the summer or something, it'll be gone.
Mm.
And people are already like, oh, all the people all those TikTok influencers or people who create on TikTok, they're gonna have to look for another job.
Can't
Or
they
they're
just
gonna,
do shorts on YouTube?
I was gonna say, or they're gonna come over to YouTube, and then everybody's gonna be on YouTube. It's just oversaturate. We're just gonna have to up our game to, you know, cut through all that.
All right.
But yeah, that's about it.
All right. Well, up next is our Wrestling Rewind. And this week is World War III from WCW. And what a pay-per-view this was.
Actually, it wasn't bad outside of the main event, which I would say that the main event wasn't terrible. There was just a lot going on,
Mm-hmm.
and your your favorite side by side.
Yeah,
Although it was 3 screens this time,
it was.
and 3 commentators, so they were all talking
No. It was 6 commentators.
oh yeah, all going with at like the same time. So
You know what? Actually, that wasn't as bad as I thought it would be.
oh, I don't know. I just thought it was a lot. It was
It
a
was a
lot.
lot. It was not as bad because I thought like they were all just going to start shouting, like kind of like a live stream where you see,
Oh yeah,
a whole bunch of people and they're all talking at once because they don't know how to fucking wait their turn.
yeah.
But it was actually for having 6 people doing commentary. I thought that was the best you could do it.
Yeah, I didn't know who was talking at some points, but at least they were talking one at a time, though.
Right. So it starts off with a very quick video package. Kind of feels like we're getting lazy now. Like I know what's coming up in this pay-per-view, but I couldn't follow the video. And then we cut to Norfolk, Virginia. And Shivani, Heenan, and Dusty are on commentary. They boost up the World War III match. And they announce that Piper and Hogan are having a contract signing later on for the main event for Starrcade. And apparently Eric Bischoff has been trying to stall it. And the first match of the evening is Rey Mysterio Jr. versus the Ultimo Dragon, which the announcer called him the Ultimate Dragon. And this is where we find out that Bischoff has officially made his turn, and it was on the previous Nitro, so he's officially with the NWO. And the as far as the match, it was a decent match. Ultimo Dragon, he did a Cesaro swing, and it made the fucker made himself dizzy. And Ultimo Dragon won by countering Rey's Hurricane Rana with a sit-down powerbomb. Seemed like he did a lot of powerbombs.
I think yeah. But that was his moveset. That, and he was like the suplex master.
Yeah. I thought the part where Mysterio and Ultimo Dragon, when they were fighting behind the commentary team, I thought that was really weird because they didn't turn around at all or react. And they even talked about it like, oh, it looks like we're watching something else. Oh, no, we're just
because
watching.
you got to watch the monitor.
Yeah.
You can't
Why would we
the-
watch the live action right behind us when we can watch a TV screen? Just weird.
It's the thing. You got to watch the monitor.
Okay.
But yeah, I like this match. I thought it was. I put it at match of the night, even though it was first match.
Really?
Yeah, all the reversals, there was a gorgeous. I think it was a full Nelson suplex by the Ultimate Dragon.
Suplex?
No, it wasn't a dragon.
Oh, that's what they called it.
Oh, it wasn't. They may have called it that, but it wasn't.
What's the Dragon Suplex?
That's the one where you like hook the arms. The opponent's arms are in like an L, and but this one was like a full Nelson into the suplex.
I thought that was a butterfly suplex.
Similar to a butterfly suplex, but yeah.
Do you take it right?
Well, he landed right on the back of his neck.
Oh, good.
So probably overshot it. If we want to mark up a little bit, he overshot it. But yeah, and then all the running power bomb looked good.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, Ultimo Dragon had 8 titles. This is the dragon I remember having all them damn belts. So he had 8 titles. The only one he was missing that they kept saying was the cruiserweight title. And the match was for all 8 titles. So yeah, if Rey Mysterio could have been 8-time champion or whatever the hell they were saying. Yeah, but he lost. But yeah, I did put it as match of the night easily for me.
For me, this was just kind of a match. I liked the Ultimo Dragon's ring gear though.
Yes, he's Japanese.
I don't know what he is.
Yeah, he's Japanese, I think.
The Mean Gene talks to DDP next. And I guess the NWO has been trying to recruit Diamond Dallas Page to their ranks. I guess he's sufficiently over. Oh, no, they have Vincent. So Page can join him. And Page is non-committal. I'm just out for myself. This is my time. And Gene says, well, Bischoff's your next door neighbor. So naturally, that means you're going to defect to the NWO any day. So you need to come clean right now. Page says he doesn't care what Bischoff does. He's not worried about, or all he's worried about is World War III. And it was just 1 year ago that I shocked the world and won the battle Bowl, or won the Lord of the Ring at the Battle Bowl. Now I have an opportunity to earn another title shot I'll never get.
I did have questions of, is he still the ring holder or has he already tried to cash in?
I
Where
think
is the ring? Because he wasn't wearing it.
I don't know.
Because he did get it back last pay per view.
He did.
So where was it now?
I think now they finally just gave it up, or gave it up.
I guess.
Doesn't matter. He never got his title shot. Nick Patrick and Chris Jericho had a match. A one arm tied behind my back match, to be precise. Chris Jericho, of course, is the one with the arm tied behind his back. And I thought Nick Patrick was a great evil referee. Especially the way he came out with the sunglasses and the towel around his neck, and he's scowling. He's holding up his fist to the camera. Chris Jericho's going to get this. And apparently Heenan is the only one in the entire WCW who isn't quite sure that Nick Patrick is part of the NWO. Because he said he wasn't sure, and Shivani's like, what the fuck? Are you kidding me? Dusty's even like, what? Come on now. So Jericho won, of course, with a super kick. It was pretty much what it should have been, I guess. Patrick was great. I love how he'd flail his arms every time Jericho would hit him. There was one part where Jericho slapped him, and he just held his arms up and just fell backwards like a turtle. And yeah, it wasn't very long. It was entertaining. Wasn't the match of the night, though.
Yeah. I'm surprising myself in saying that this was a very sports entertainment. I was sports entertained during this match, which is weird because, it was Nick Patrick.
Right.
But yeah, everything he was doing, as you're pointing out, like he would take the chops and he'd like throw his hands up and
Get his ass kicked.
all his little like mannerisms, and like at one point he tried to do the test of strength with Jericho and he gave that little smirk like, I got him. He's like, he puts one hand up and then he tries to get the other hand, and Jericho's hands tied behind his back.
Uh-huh.
So he's looking back at the crowd like smirking. And then there was one point where he got thrown into the turnbuckle and he had his hands up and he was flailing and he was like convulsing from a turnbuckle.
Yeah, he was awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, I was thoroughly sports entertained, which I did not see coming.
Yeah,
Because remember last week I was like, oh, great.
You're right. Yeah, I expected to hate every second of this, but it surprised me.
Yeah, and I kind of felt better about it when they said he used to wrestle. It's like, okay, so he knows what he's doing a little bit.
Well, yeah, and they did it right because he's a referee. He shouldn't be anywhere near Chris Jericho's level, and he wasn't, even with the handicap.
Yeah.
So, and Nick Patrick got offense in, but it wasn't effective offense. Jericho basically hurt himself.
Yeah, and then there was at one point where he was getting the punches in.
Yeah.
And he was like throwing them like a boxer.
Yeah.
So yeah, pretty good match. Well, for what it was, pretty good match.
Yeah, it was a good match. Is it going to be like, Austin Bret Hart? No, but for what it was, for what it could have been, it's really good.
Yeah, I mean, going out of it, I was even thinking to myself, if he was like, he being Nick Patrick, if he was like a weekly wrestler,
Mhm.
Now, I'm not saying he would be competing for a title or anything, but if he was like a week to week wrestler, I wouldn't even bat an eye at it.
I thought he was better than the referee that WWF had.
Which one?
Remember that one WrestleMania, the referee turned heel, and they had him wrestle. Yeah, whatever.
We'll get to it.
Oh no, we already got to it.
Oh, the Hebner twin.
No. It was some little guy.
Oh, okay, I remember now. Golly, I should. We've only like 12 WrestleManias, so I should remember all
Yeah,
of
you
them.
should remember every second of what we've covered.
But I remember I remember now.
Yeah.
Um,
But yeah, Nick Patrick was better than him.
Yeah, it was that guy who was suspended for whatever reason. Yeah.
Well, next, Shivani, Dusty, and Heenan speculate on what's going to happen at the contract signing. Because Piper's picking a fight. And then Mean Gene talks to Ric Flair, whose arm is in a sling. Flair says Hogan and the NWO can do whatever they want. But he, Arn Anderson, Stinger, Lex Luger's, and the others represent W, by God, CW. Flair says he's incapacitated right now, but before it's all said and done, the Nature Boy's going to dance all night, and the NWO will belong to WCW. And then he struts like he's having a seizure. And then the Giant versus Jeff Jarrett. This is a rematch from Halloween Havoc. And Giant still has the U.S. title that he stole from Flair, and I guess Flair was stripped due to a 30-day no-compete clause. But that doesn't mean the Giant is the champion. He just has the belt. And Jarrett and Giant have a pretty basic match until Sting appears in crow form in the rafters. And Sting eventually makes his way to the ring through the crowd. And while that happens, Jarrett gets a Giant to fall out of the ring. Then Sting comes up from behind Jarrett and hits him with his Scorpion Death Drop. So now Sting is obviously with the NWO. And Sting leaves. Giant finally hits Jarrett with his long-ass choke slam for the 1-2-3.
And yeah, this was, I don't know, this match was just kind of there.
Yeah.
But yeah, the fans were going apeshit when Sting appeared up at the Raptors.
Oh, great. Something we can enjoy.
Yeah. I know there's a match and all, but look up there. And I didn't remember where this was going. The whole Sting. I guess I remember the is he in or is he out? And then finally he's in. I think
He was
I know he does join, but I don't know if it's like directly off of this or if it's later.
joined the NWO.
Yeah.
No. He doesn't. I think he joins the Wolfpack.
He definitely does join the Wolfpack.
I don't think he joins the NWO.
Okay.
Or if he does, it's like later.
Well, at that point, they would have been dissolved after.
Well, no, Stevie Ray still needs to be the leader of the NWO.
I don't think I was watching WCW at that point.
And nobody was. That's why they're not around anymore.
I think I'd moved on.
But yeah, that was Giant versus Jarrett. Then we get to the Roddy Piper and Hollywood Hulk Hogan contract signing. And this is for the WCW World Heavyweight title at Starrcade. Piper comes out and he says he has the contract, so Hogan, get your oiled ass out here. And Bischoff comes out, flanked by DiBiase, Vincent, Giants behind him. And Bischoff says Hogan's too busy. He's reading scripts. So he's made me his power of attorney. I'll look at your contract and sign it if it meets our requirements. And Piper does a WrestleMania callback by telling Vincent that he taught him how to fight. So sit the fuck down. And Piper insults Bischoff a bunch of times, questions his manhood, sexuality, says he doesn't give a shit about what Bischoff does to WCW or the NWO. Doesn't trust him. Bischoff threatens to fine Piper. Piper asks how much to knock him out. Then it's obvious like we're getting off track because they're meandering a lot. Because Piper's like, how much to knock you out? You don't have enough. Oh yeah, I bet I do. Oh no, you don't. Okay. So then Piper says he's fighting Hogan. He doesn't care about the NWO. And if they get to him before the match, they better revive him just in time for the fight. So basically, it sounds like he wants a no DQ match. And Piper tells Bischoff to fuck off and he calls out Hogan. And then Bischoff says, I don't think so. But then Hogan comes out anyway. So Hogan comes out with the Outsiders, the terrifying Elizabeth, and the Giant, who's come out for a second time now. And Hogan gets belted in the face on the way to the ring with the wad of trash. It's kind of funny. And Hogan gets the ring and he tells Piper that he has a problem now. And Piper says, get your ass in here. Sign this contract. Quit talking. Naturally, Hogan gets in the ring and starts talking. And Hogan says that he's used to dealing with number one contenders, men that are on his level. But when Piper was Hogan's equal 10 years ago, he couldn't get the job done. Now look at you. Show him your hip. Piper sits there looking ashamed while Hogan demands Piper show him his hip in front of the camera. Piper finally reveals his hip. And, it's a little white and pale and stuff, but nothing wrong with it. And Hogan says, bullshit. And pulls up Piper's kilt and reveals a large scar on Piper's other hip. And Hogan says he usually doesn't pick fights with cripples. And he says he looks like Peg Leg Pete. And Hogan says, I'll sign your contract. Then he tells Piper he ain't going to have a leg to stand on. He can't wait to beat up a gimp. Piper attacks Hogan. Then the NWO, they grab Piper while Hogan wails on him. Piper breaks free and attacks Hogan again. And Giant grabs Piper and pulls up his kilt so Hogan can hit Piper's scar with a chair. Then he does a running shoulder tackle to it. I love wrestling. Then Hogan sprays NWO on Piper's leg and hawks a loogie on him. He went, Piper gets up, tosses the table at the NWO, and then they just leave. Piper grabs a mic, tells Hogan that that's the best he can do. He's in trouble at Starrcade. Then Hogan walks away, telling Bischoff he's going to pull Piper's hip out. Then Piper limps away to the entrance area. Then he falls down and crawls through smoke. Can't help but thinking how much more impactful this would have been if Piper was just left laying.
Well, he was being defiant.
Yeah, I know. I know what he was doing.
But yeah, it was a funny segment that they attacked his leg or his hip.
His scar.
Yeah.
It's good stuff, I guess. I do remember this vaguely.
I don't remember the match. Actually, don't remember this at all. Like, any of it.
Really?
Yeah. We'll have to see where it's going.
Yeah, I remember Piper had an icon shirt. It was black and white.
But I will say they kind of got the music right.
What do you mean?
Piper's music,
Oh,
because WCW is weird with the music thing,
yeah.
but they kind of got it right there.
Well, they got it right when he came back. I don't think Piper's theme is a WWE theme.
Oh, sorry. I forgot that we heard it last time.
Yeah. They just did the long ass snare drum intro last time.
Yeah, I forgot
Like,
about
who
that.
else would do snare drums? So the amazing French Canadians faced Harlem Heat, and Colonel Robert Parker, the most Kentucky fried son of a bitch in WCW, is Quebecian now. So let that sink in. So if Harlem Heat wins, Sherry gets 5 minutes alone with Parker in the ring. So I like when Harlem Heat get to the ring, they do their corner poses. Well, Stevie, he goes to the corner and he just snatches the Canadian flags and tosses them. And then he does his pose and he stares at the French Canadians the entire time. like do something. I hope you do something. I want you to do. Please. The French Canadians, they sing the Canadian anthem poorly. It's a thing they carried over from WWF, apparently. And did we see our first Spin-a-Rooney tonight? I can't remember.
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay. Well, Booker eventually throws one of the Canadians into the referee, and then he eats a spike pile driver. And then the Canadians get 2 steel steps and a table. Then one of them just somersaults off of the pile, while the other, they prop up the table in the corner, and then they put one set of steel steps on top of the table and then the other set of steel steps on the bottom, making it pretty useless. And then one of the Canadians gets on the top ropes while the other one holds his hands, and then he just somersaults. And he misses. All that for that.
Yeah, I was wondering where they were going with it. It's like, well, they're really going to do some damage here to whoever, I think it was Booker at the time.
Yeah.
They're really going to do some damage. Oh, no. Wait, they're going to jump off it themselves.
Which, yeah, it just seemed like a wasted opportunity to me. So Booker hits the Harlem Hangover, and he gets the 1, 2, 3. So then Sherry gets her 5 minutes with Parker. And Sherry kicks Parker's ass until he runs away. Like she kicked his ass from one ring to the other. So this means that Sherry would completely annihilate Medusa.
Yeah. I mean, he's weaker at this point, I guess. It's older.
It's a year.
But he was like, yeah, he got, and they even mentioned it, he got no offense.
0.
He got absolutely nothing.
The commentary team was tickled pink when Sherry clotheslined Parker.
They sure were. And even like when they were recapping this, what just happened, they're like, she clotheslined him twice.
Yeah. Well, then they all, Shivani, Dusty, and Heenan all wonder what condition Piper will be in heading into Starrcade. Then they play a Starrcade ad with the same weird guy that did the World War III ad. So there's that. And then Mean Gene talks to Lex Luger. But first, Gene pimps the hotline because you got to do that. And then Gene wants to know about the baseball bat Sting handed to him on Nitro. Luger says he has no fucking clue, but he hopes that it's not a sign of the NWO. But at the same time, Sting turned his back on Luger, so no one knows. Then Luger says he's ready to win World War III. And up next is Psychosis versus Dean Malenko for the Cruiserweight title. And apparently, Malenko and Regal had a match on TV, or a TV title match on like Nitro or something before this. Like, how the fuck did that not make pay-per-view?
I don't know. But yeah, I guess it was for the United States Championship. Or
No, it's for the television title.
the TV title, which the Regal won, apparently.
Yeah. Or it went to a draw.
Did it?
Yeah, because I think the TV title it has a time limit.
Okay, maybe I misheard it. Yeah.
Yeah. I could have misheard it too. So Heenan was quick to point out that Psychosis's hair looks like Peg Bundy. And he was drunk or something tonight. He tried the springboard thing and fucked up and went face first into a guardrail. And Malenko, he got him back in the ring and he does head-related offense, so he didn't give a shit about anything. And Malenko beat the piss out of Psychosis for a long-ass time. Like, at one point, he even had him upside down. Just in this leg stretch thing. Psychosis finally gets some offense and does this corkscrew plancha thing to Malenko on the floor from the top rope. And he almost did his head on the apron. And then he did a springboard Hurricane Rana, which is pretty good. And then the tombstone spot was awesome. Where they did
the reversals.
Yeah, they kept reversing it.
Mm-hmm.
And Malenko won out of nowhere with a sunset flip after dark. At least that's what Heenan called it. And it was nothing flashy, just Dean Malenko.
Yeah, I believe it was. I forget what that thing is called. It's not a schoolboy. No, it's a. I don't know. I forget what it's called. I had the name. I had it queued up, but
yeah,
I lost it. I didn't write it down.
But this was a great match.
Yeah, absolutely.
I thought Psychosis's ring gear was awesome.
Dean Malenko, he came out with the vest. And was this Horseman Malenko?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay. I remember he does
Benoit, Mongo, Flair, and Anderson. Yeah, because Anderson needs to retire first.
Okay.
Which it seems like we're getting close to that because he's all fucked up.
Yeah, from nothing. Or from something we didn't see.
I think he's still fucked up from the attack from Luger.
Oh. Oh. Well, nice selling.
The Outsiders versus Nasty Boys versus Faces of Fear for the tag team titles. This was a brutal match, all things considered. And I'm glad they didn't do the split screen bullshit with this one. Because that would have been a bridge too far for me. Like, I've yet to skip anything in these pay-per-views. I think I would have skipped it if they went split screen.
That makes sense.
It was really weird watching guys. So it was a standard tag match because WCW does that. I guess there's not a good way you can do a multiple man tag match. It's either a tornado tag or it looks weird with like the traditional tag rules.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of off-putting watching people from opposing teams tag in other people. Just seems like a very anti-winning strategy.
That makes sense, but they're trying to, I guess, uphold the integrity of sport.
Sure. So eventually Ming and Knobs, they're in the ring. And they meet in the center. And they have a stare down. Then they slowly just start nodding their head in understanding. Then they go to the outsider's corner and tag in Hall and Nash. Hall and Nash don't know what to do. And they're confused as fuck. So they try to tag in some other guys who bail to the floor. Now it looks like Hall and Nash, they have to fight. So then Hall and Nash charge each other to the center of the ring, and then Nash just lays down so Hall can slowly cover him. So naturally, all the teams break up the pin, and then all hell breaks loose. Nash hits a powerbomb on Knobs after Hall hit him with Jimmy Hart's megaphone. Oh yeah, Jimmy Hart was there. And then Nash pins Knobs, who's not the legal man.
He's not, because both of the NWO members were legal.
Yes.
That's another thing I wrote down. Is like, they give him a little pass here, but yeah, they both the NWO members were tagged in, and then
Yes.
they broke the pin up, but no one new tagged in. So
Nope. It went to a brawl. Knobs got hit. Nash hit him with the powerbomb, and he got pinned. There's no tag.
Yeah. So they pinned the not legal man.
WWF did this way better when the New Age Outlaws were in a similar situation.
They actually did it.
Yeah.
So that was. I don't know what I was thinking here. I was like, oh, did they get away with it? But no.
Well, finally, we have our World War III match. And as they set up, they sell us on the Starcade main event. And he said Piper went into the Lion's Den, picked the fight of the century. And then Tony the Tiger, Larry Zbyszko make an appearance. So does Mike Tenay. And then they tell us Benoit and Sullivan had a banger of a match that probably wouldn't have worked on this pay-per-view. Because you got to have Nick Patrick instead. Tenay and Dusty, they talk about all these great matches. Oh man, if you just want to watch Nitro, you could have seen Malenko and Regal. Well, then Benoit and Sullivan, they had this awesome match where they went to the bathroom and the Faces of Fear came out of the stalls. If only you would have seen that.
Yeah, and they both look beat to hell.
I didn't see Sullivan, but Benoit looked like shit.
Yeah, he was beat to hell too.
Oh, was he?
Yeah. It's like, oh. Yeah, and he was like, oh, yeah, I mentioned that match. He said it all casually. I told you it was a physical match.
Yeah.
Like, well, you undersold it then. Golly.
But just like, could we have bumped the Giant and Jeff Jarrett off for that? Or, I mean, I'm just looking at this card. I don't know. Tenay and Dusty talk about how a title opportunity awaits the winner of World War III. And Dusty just does not give any of the cruiserweights a chance in hell of winning. And basically everyone picks Luger to win. Except for Shivani. The Giant. You can hear one of them just go, huh. So then everybody comes out at once, which was really weird. Everyone being the competitors of the World War III match. And Anderson is still banged up from, I'm presuming, the Luger attack. That's the only thing that makes sense. Either that or he got attacked after and it furthered his or worsened his injuries or something. I don't know. So then the NWO all come out at once. I noticed that Six shaved his beard, making him look like a child once again.
Mhm.
And then more WCW people follow, which means they put no thought into that at all. Would have made more sense if like the NWO was the last to come out all at once. Because if you think about it, that means there's a group of WCW people sandwiched in, or the NWO people are sandwiched in between two groups of WCW people. And if they're supposed to be warring, wouldn't the WCW people just jump the NWO?
Yeah.
So I thought it was really funny watching the people that did come out give 120% into their gimmicks for the 3 seconds that they were on camera.
Yeah, they all had their little thing.
Yeah, they just gave it all. This is my moment. These 3 seconds are going to put me in the main event.
Oh, by the way, I didn't mention it earlier. I always like how Harlem Heat, they're always like talking to the hard cam or
Yeah.
the camera as they're
Mhm.
coming out in their entrance. Like, I don't even understand what they're saying, but they're always like, they always got something to say to the camera.
Yeah, I really appreciate Harlem Heat. So then they did the fucking split screens.
I didn't even know who a lot of these people were.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, who's this guy?
The Dungeon of Doom and Horsemen, they break into a fight and pretty much get disqualified from the match right off the bat. And they
Yeah,
fight
because
all over the
Sullivan
place.
and Benoit can't be separated.
Yeah. And they fight all the way in the stands, then back, and yeah. So they're gone. And the WWE, the World War III match goes on as normal. NWO, they stand in one corner, just all to themselves, and they slowly pick off people that get near them. And Tony the Tiger, he gets fucked up at some point, but he gets back on commentary, so I guess it wasn't that bad.
Funny thing about that though is there was a point where um, Barbarian, the Faces of Fear, was stomping him while he was on the
Yeah.
ground.
So unnecessary.
Yeah,
He was pissed off at Zabisco for not doing anything.
yeah.
And Tony Rumble got eliminated. I can't believe it. He was my dark horse to win. There were also wrestlers named Jimmy Graffiti, Galaxy, Rage, Renegade, Chaos, Joe Gomez, Roadblock, Bunkhouse Buck, Disco Inferno, John Studd, or Joe Studd, Jim Powers, JL, and Jack Boot. Neither of them won.
Some good naming there, I guess.
Yeah. Rick Steiner was in the match. I don't know. They mentioned Scott Steiner, but I didn't see him.
I didn't either.
So I think Rick was there all alone. At one point, everybody in one ring gangs up on this Ron Studd, not Joe Studd, on Ron Studd, and they're literally everybody's taking turns giving him a stinger splash. And then Studd eventually falls to the mat, and then everybody piles on top of him for the pin, while the referee is clearly telling the retards that he needs to go over the rope. And then there's people coming in late to pile on too.
And then finally, like, Lex Luger jumps on the pile.
Yeah. And then that's it. they stop pinning him, and then they all just start fighting each other. So
Yeah, I was like, what's about to happen? Is he gonna throw everybody out?
I was
he's
hoping.
he's gonna kick out so powerful and throw them all out, which would have been ridiculous, of course.
Of
But
course.
yeah, but yeah. Otherwise, it's just they all look like dumbasses
Right.
and not knowing the rules.
Booker T gets dumped onto Heenan's monitor, and possibly for the first time and only time in his career, his monitor legitimately goes out. So then finally everything just randomly stops so the NWO and WCW can have just a standoff. DDP is alone in the corner and he targets Eddie Guerrero, who I believe he's feuding with. And it causes speculation on Page's allegiance. And it also makes sense that Page is only out for himself and he would target the guy he's feuding with. I thought there was a lot of brilliance in that horse shit.
Well, I do want to point out that before that happened, there was a moment where Eddie Guerrero did a top rope over the top rope splash onto someone who was on the outside, and they didn't.
Oh, was that before that?
Yeah, and then he
Oh,
got
shit.
back in the ring.
I do remember that. I don't think they really cared.
It's like they
Because then
didn't
they're like,
know.
is that guy eliminated? Oh, sure, he's gone.
Yeah, and then the commentators kept saying Regal was eliminated, but he wasn't.
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Oh, was he eliminated? I don't know."
It was a cluster.
Yeah.
Mysterio, who lasted a long ass time, got tossed out by the Giant with one hand. And the scream Ray made when he landed on Eddie was funny. And it was also funny when Jarrett was just standing there watching. The stare down shit meant nothing because WCW guys just they still fought each other. So I don't know what that was all about. And eventually it's down to Luger and all 5 members of the NWO. And Luger takes out everyone and almost gets the Giant in the torture rack. Hall goes for the razor's edge to Luger by the ropes. And of course he gets dumped because he's an idiot. Luger tosses 6. He kind of does like a mini version of what Giant did to Ray. And then Luger gets Nash into the torture rack. And then Giant dumps both of them for the win. And it looks like Nash got fucked up. And Giant earns a title shot. Hogan's title. So does Giant face Piper? Does Giant face Hogan? Does Giant protect Hogan? Who knows? But the NWO, they posed to close out the show, leaving us with nothing but questions.
Yeah. Be interesting to see what happens next time.
And this was a missable pay-per-view to me. I don't like the idea of selling one pay-per-view on another pay-per-view. It's like, why the fuck did I pay for this one?
I don't think they did it too hard. Just like the Piper Hogan thing.
Piper Hogan thing, the the stipulation for the main event of this pay-per-view was for, well, I guess it wasn't for Starrcade.
It was for at a later date.
Yeah. But pretty uneventful for me.
Well, I liked it. The main event, again, it was a cluster with I don't know. So much was going on. The stupid screens. So I'm like, so I'm supposed to watch all 3 screens at the same time? Like, or am I supposed to pick and choose? Because they weren't, I don't know, if it's nowadays, they would like have, I don't know, everybody would be laying down in the corner somewhere so that you can see like the main spot that they're trying to show you. But this, like, everybody was doing their own thing,
Right.
and it was just impossible to keep up with. Like Sullivan and Benoit fighting outside, and and this was before the match even started, and then the NWO getting involved, Regal coming in and out of the ring. Yeah, there's a lot going on there.
And it seemed like nobody knew what was going on.
Yeah. Now I did think Hogan. I thought Luger was going to pull it off at the end there, though. I thought he was going to do the 5-on-1. It would have
Well,
only made sense in wrestling logic that he does that, especially WCW wrestling logic, because we know being severely underhanded doesn't mean anything in WCW.
well, unfortunately, I know how this story goes, so I wasn't
Well,
surprised.
well, I don't, so we'll see how it goes.
All right. But that is World War III.
Not too shabby, I guess. I don't know. I was looking for something. I can't like really be positive about it, but you know,
We'll see what happens at Starrcade.
yeah. It's just I guess the concept of the World War III with the monitors and not knowing what the hell's going on that
Yeah.
doesn't help. But
I
you know,
like
the other matches were pretty good.
the idea of the 3 rings. I like how they, because it felt like they just had them side by side last year. I could be wrong.
I don't know.
But we have Starrcade next for WCW. But after that, or before that, is WrestleMania 13 on the WWF side. And this is presented to us by PlayStation. And is held in the Rosemont Horizon venue in Chicago. It's the second WrestleMania to be held in Chicago after WrestleMania 2. And the main event was a no DQ match between Psycho Sid and The Undertaker for the WWF Championship. We have Bret Hart versus Stone Cold Steve Austin in the famous no disqualification match, or the I Quit match. And Legion of Doom, Ahmed Johnson face off against the Nation of Domination in a Chicago street fight. We have Rocky Maivia versus the Sultan for the WWF Intercontinental Championship. And the Bret Hart Stone Cold Steve Austin match was praised as one of the greatest of all time and cited as the beginning of the Attitude Era. This is also kind of around the time when you remember the Final Four, where Austin got eliminated in the Royal Rumble, came back in. He eliminated Bret after Bret thought he won. So then they had a match at the next pay-per-view between the final 4 people in the Royal Rumble match. I think.
Oh yeah, it was in your house, and it
Yeah.
was like Vader,
It was
think
Vader,
Undertaker.
Austin, Taker, and Bret. And I
Yeah.
think Bret won, but then Psycho Sid won it like immediately after. Because this is also when Shawn lost his smile.
Oh yeah, because didn't he lose to Sid?
No, he dropped the belt because he lost his smile.
Oh. Well, now we're getting into like stuff we actually remember.
Yeah.
Which is fun.
But yep, that's next week. Definitely looking forward to Bret and Austin, if anything.
Yep, the iconic match. A good Sultan appearance too. I think this is like going to be his only appearance.
Possibly, yeah.
And the debuting Rocky Maivia. Well, not debuting, but you know,
WrestleMania debut.
yeah.
But that is all I have.
All right. Well, we got some little quick hitter stories before we get on out, y'all. Uh, I think we talked about Jake Paul. So, just a little quick thing. Dominic Mysterio, he got married over the weekend, or I don't know if it was the weekend or the week, but he got married to his high school sweetheart. So I guess the first thing is congratulations there. The other thing I just wanted to point out from that is that he got when he started to do his speech, they booed him at his wedding.
Oh, good.
So they kept the thing alive. And then the most important part of it all is he did not invite Ray to his own wedding because he was keeping storyline alive. He's that deep into the storyline. I mean, if he was really that deep, he would be marrying Rhea Ripley. But
Right.
I guess
Her her bigger husband might have an issue.
Oh, it's for the bit. We got to get married.
Yeah.
Oh, fake married, right? No, no, no. We gotta. I mean, I'm really committed to this. We gotta
Yeah.
actually sign the paperwork and
Consummate everything.
yeah.
Consummate. It's for the bit.
Don't worry, bro.
Don't worry. She's still yours. I'm just gonna stick my penis in her a couple times.
Yeah.
Kayfabe, bro.
We're gonna have a honeymoon, and at that point, it's like how many times I can get it.
I mean, your first kid might look like me, but
It's gonna be fair game on that honeymoon for that week. Oh, you just said it was a day. No, no, it's a week now. For that month of that honeymoon.
oh, congratulations, Tom.
Yeah, congratulations. And then also while we're on the congratulations, Paul Heyman, Nakano, and the U.S. Express, which is made up of Barry Windham and Mike Rotunda, aka IRS, aka Bray Wyatt's father, are the first announcees for the Hall of Fame.
Good deal.
So that's good on them. I guess the stick out here is Mike Rotunda being Bray's father, so that opens the door for Bray being inducted into the Hall of Fame. Um, I guess it's up in the air whether or not he's going to make the Hall of Fame this year. Just
Bray Wyatt.
from this, yeah.
Oh.
But from the standpoint of whether or not they want to put him in the Hall of Fame this early, being his family. Like, do they want to do this now, or is it too soon? Are they still getting over it?
Should he be in the Hall of Fame?
We're not going to do that. Nope,
Okay.
we ain't going to do it. We ain't doing that.
Doing what?
Gonna go down that rabbit hole
Okay.
of if Bray should be in the Hall of Fame.
Well, I mean, you're just automatically assuming.
Well, I think everybody assumes he's going to make the Hall of Fame.
Well, if he didn't die, would he be in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
Okay. It's a legit question. I'm not trying to play devil's advocate.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Okay. We'll have to go down the rabbit hole one day.
Maybe when they announce it, we can give each side of that. Other thing is the Hardys. They actually might be done with AEW. Um, so I saw Matt Hardy, for some reason, he tweeted out, he said that he wanted to thank AEW and the fans. I appreciate the Die Hardy fans of myself and Jeff. I'll never forget how much love you showed me after I got injured after all out 2020. That's when he like hit his head on the concrete after falling off of a scaffold thing.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, he just randomly sent that tweet out. So I don't know. That sounds like a goodbye to me. Uh, I don't even know what they would do next. Like maybe that's maybe this should be the end of Hardy's and wrestling actively.
Yeah, Matt Hardy could be an agent. I don't know about Jeff.
Jeff could just be a junkie. Golly, that's harsh. I
Yeah, I
don't
guess
know.
Matt Hardy's contract is expiring this month, allegedly.
I don't know. It was just I don't know. It just sounds like a goodbye when you tweet something like that.
For Matt, at least.
And he's been quiet about it. Maybe there's this happened like I don't know, an hour or two before we started the show. So
Mm.
they haven't the dirt sheets hadn't got on it yet, unless they have. So we're waiting to see updates on that. But I just wanted to bring it up just in case it becomes a bigger thing, and we can make a clip out of it. Ayo. And then I guess just the last thing here. So I don't know how to approach this.
Then let's not. If it's gonna be a thing,
Well, I'm just looking for the right wording. Oh, we'll just drop it.
yeah, it's already late.
Okay. I'll just say I just don't know if it happened or not.
Wait,
Well,
what?
if you can't like really find a source, the Bianca Belair situation.
Oh,
Really
okay.
find the source of
What
it.
I saw was there was a comment that basically said that Bianca was there. She's the token. Like, oh, we all know why Bianca's there. They need a black. And I think like, and so that was turned into, racist. And I'm sure that kind of spawned more like with more attention that it got. I'm sure that spawned like actual racist comments.
Well, I don't doubt that the racist comments happen. All I'm saying is I can't find like usually, and maybe it's because of like maybe it got really out of control.
Mm,
But usually with these things, especially on Twitter, when like people are like showing support or you know news outlets are reporting on it, they'll have like the source of where it started, like the
right.
video. Like when the Maxine Dupree thing happened, they had the video. Uh, like they have the source of where it happened. This
Yeah.
time, you couldn't find a source. I went digging. I like looked. They had like the hashtag Bianca Belair support thing. I was looking through it. I couldn't find the negative comment. All I found was the positive. All the wrestlers who were tweeting, you can only see their positive, not the negative. Like no one was quote tweeting the source of what happened.
Yeah.
So
Well,
again, I'm not saying it didn't. I'm just saying I couldn't find like is this like one person who has like 12 numbers in their name and no profile picture saying
and
something, or
that's
is
why I
this
brought up
like
that comment. I was watching a video where I normally don't do that before we talk about stuff like this, but he was talking about this and he went digging, and that basically that's the comment that he found that was even remotely, you know, charged like that.
yeah, was it someone with like no profile
Oh yeah, it
picture
was a
and
nobody.
100 characters in their name?
Yeah, it wasn't like Ryback or something.
Yeah, so I don't know. I just don't see it why it became such a thing. But
Because it's Bianca Belair, and I don't know if it. They seem to have this thing where if you criticize somebody publicly or a public figure, that they need to be defended and white knighted for. It's really weird. They did that for Maxine.
yeah,
They're doing it for. They did it for Liv Morgan too.
well, I get it. You're defending your teammates, if you will, but I don't know. In this instance, I just didn't see too much that was. I couldn't find the negative, only the positive.
There wasn't.
Hmm.
There wasn't a negative with the Maxine thing.
Well, there was
No, she
because
got
the
booed
person,
because she sucks.
yeah, the person's that's the negative.
That's not a negative.
Getting booed and saying you suck, don't come back. That's the
Yes,
negative,
you suck. Don't come back. You suck.
right? That's the negative.
That's not a
So that's
negative.
what they were.
That's constructive feedback.
I don't think he was saying it constructively.
It was constructively. Just because you don't like the way the message is presented doesn't mean it ain't true.
Okay, well, that's the point of defense. That was a opinion from someone who, again,
No,
probably
no,
has
no.
no.
We saw the Royal Rumble match. We've seen her wrestle. It's fact.
It's not fact.
She sucks. She's nice to look at. That's it.
Well, we saw. What I'm saying, the person who said it. Well, where were they on the camera? Were they
Well,
behind
no,
the?
I'm sure he's
Were
a
they
toothless
behind the
motherfucker.
barricade?
You're right.
Or were they in front of the barricade, leaving the ring themselves? They weren't
You're
really.
right.
That's what I'm saying. So there was a point of, I don't know. There was a source, and for this Bianca thing, there was no real source. Anyway, that's gonna do it for the show. If you disagree with anything, let us know in the comments. If you agree with anything, let us know in the comments. Don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, do all the things. Is there anything else?
And just have a good night.
And until next time, top guys.